for the Pig and the Hen.
Pig and the Hen Show. Pig and the Hen Show.
It's time now for the Pig and the Hen Show.
Pig and the Hen Show. Pig and the Hen Show.
It's time now for the Pig and the Hen.
Pig and the Hen Show. Pig and the Hen Show.
It's time now for the Pig and the Hen Show.
Pig and the Hen Show. Pig and the Hen Show.
Boom, 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 Chanka. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on the Pig and the Hen Show, joined by Henry Hotspur over in Guangzhou, China. How you doing, Henry? You look like you've quarantined yourself in a wardrobe or something, mate. What's going on there, son? Let's just address it right at the start.
This is your correspondent reporting from Guangzhou, just a couple of provinces away from the affected area of Huanan. And it's pretty serious out here. We're going to be reporting on this today.
Crikey, yeah. Honestly, on a serious note, anybody affected by that virus, it's obviously a very bad thing. But thank you very much for joining us today on today's Pig and the Hen Show. It's Wednesday. I've just gotten up. It's 1:15 or whatever it is. Thank you very much for stopping by on the live stream here. I can see there's a bunch of you usual legends in here. I just want to give a few shout outs at the start, like I always do. Just to say thanks for stopping by here. JP, Griffo Chaz, the Music Fiend, James Mosscrop, the Saint Hotshot, Yasser HS, VJ Anand, OTB, Big D, Soccer Blogger, and the rest of you. Thank you very, very much for stopping by and tuning in for today's Pig and the Hen Show. Of course, it's like a bit of a transfer window, January transfer window special, because the window is closing tomorrow. Was it the next day? It's very, very soon anyway. The window's closing. United obviously need to sign players. Spurs have done quite a bit. Been a bit of a busy window for Spurs, to be fair, Hen.
Yeah, well, we've just signed some Bergwijn guy. I don't really know who he is. I mean, he's just come out of the absolute blue. I mean, I've been crying my eyes out all day about Eriksen leaving. What a fantastic player. He's gone. We know he's gone. We knew he was gonna go, but we know he's gone for good now. And yeah, we've signed someone else. Brilliant news. Obviously, that's another player coming in on top of Fernandez there. A bit of a striker, winger. Don't really know too much about him at the moment because I mean, for me, this has just come from nowhere. But what, 27 million? Yeah, well, it's good that we're doing business.
From PSV, yeah. I mean, I don't know much about him either. All I know is that last year when I played a bit of FIFA, I haven't played FIFA 20 at all, but when I was playing FIFA 19, I'm pretty sure he got in the Dutch League Team of the Year, and he had like pace for days. So, that one, take from that what you will. Sometimes it doesn't work out, players coming from that league to this league. But it's probably a decent sign. He's only 22. I think it's a great signing for the future as well. But yeah, I mean, we've seen players like Memphis Depay come over from the Dutch League who are absolutely ripping it up over there and fail to replicate it in the Premier League. So it's not like a guaranteed great signing. We'll just see how that one goes. In regards to the other thing you mentioned, Christian Eriksen gone to Inter. That's a done deal. Just want to hear your thoughts, how you feel about that one. Are you at all bothered that Christian Eriksen's no longer a Spurs player? Because over the years he has been a pretty decent player for you, you'd have to say.
Well, for me, it all just comes down to the fact that Eriksen wanted to go. He said back in the summer that he wanted a new challenge. And it looks like he's going to get his new challenge. He's going to go with, Conte. Love a bit of Conte, don't we? Don't we, Pig?
Oh, we love a bit of
Conte. The fact that Mourinho's let a player go to Conte, and no one's reported on that. It's nothing to do with the managers. Let's not be dramatic about it. It's the fact that Eriksen wanted to go. Levy's done wonders here to squeeze out a good, 16.9 million? Let's just call it 17 million. 17 million pounds for a player that's leaving in 6 months anyway. You know what I mean? If I was to tell you that I'm leaving the Pig and the Hen Show in 6 months, could I get 16.9 million? Or could we get 16.9 million into the channel? Don't reckon, mate.
You probably couldn't get £16.9, mate, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, into the channel. But yeah, I mean, he's a good player. I'm still annoyed United didn't actually go in for him because obviously he has been a great player in the league. He's only 27, all those reasons. Look, fair enough, United are going to have to pay a lot more than Inter would because Spurs don't want to sell them to a Premier League rival. But still, I would have liked it if we'd had some sort of contact or try to make that happen because, yeah, great, getting Bruno Fernandes is great. But we're multiple players away from having a complete set. Cheers, mate. What are you drinking? The old Bing Towels?
And I'm drinking a bit of snow. It's cheap and cheerful, mate.
Oh, okay, nice bit of Jon Snow action, fitting with the theme tune and everything.
Bit
But
of Jon
that's
Snow,
that's
exactly.
a bit of a hindrance, isn't it, mate? Can't you
Let's
just
get
drink
this
through?
mask off. Let's get this mask
Can't you
off.
just
It's
drink through the
unnecessary.
mask? No, I reckon you should keep that
No,
on, mate.
I'm taking the mask. No, I'm taking the mask off. To be honest, I'm not wearing it to cause panic or be silly. It's not a joke. I mean, I'm wearing it just to stress a point. It is completely unnecessary for me to be wearing this now. I'm on my balcony. This is the first time that we've actually conducted the Pig and the Hen show since I've been in China, not wandering around outside. You know, I've remained indoors, so to speak, although obviously I've got fresh air here. The virus is not airborne, so I don't need this. You know, I don't need a hazmat on out here. It's not airborne as far as I'm aware. However, we have got a serious virus spreading across China at the moment at an unprecedented rate, and it's pretty scary. I think we're not going to talk about it straight away, but I'm going to get into this. I'm going to get deep into this, you know, a little bit later in the show, because we need to be talking about this. It's going to affect us all potentially. This is not fear-mongering. We're just going to talk about the facts. We're going to talk about the facts of hope and the facts of fear. There's two things that we're going to talk about, and we're going to be as fair as we can about it.
Fair play. Just on that note, Gungshi has sent a message in. How's it going, Gungshi? Thanks very much for stopping by. I hope you're having a good time over in Japan, mate. He comments and says, face masks being rationed to 2 packs per person in Japan and Taiwan. All the tourists from China are buying them to take back home. So, yeah, it seems like they've got a bit of a shortage with the face masks over their head. Obviously, there are billions of people.
I've heard in America. I mean, I know people that have gone out to the US, and there's a shortage of face masks out there. And I don't know whether this is because, you know, countries around the world are buying up face masks right now in case there is a worldwide outbreak, or is it that, you know, Chinese companies or opportunists or the general public are just making massive orders out of the country because there's a lack of masks here. I'm not sure I'm not 100%, but there might be some reasons there.
Don't know about you, but forget those little paper face masks, mate. I'm going to get a freaking gas mask if it makes its way into the UK, son. Do you know what I mean? Like, pretty scary stuff, though, to be fair. Yeah, we will get back onto that a bit later in the show and discuss it plenty more. There's actually 107 legends already tuned into the live stream today, so shout out to you guys. Thanks very much for stopping by here. I want to give a few more shout outs. Kent Nyquist, how you doing? Sadek Rahman, Alex the Rinconator, Griffo Chaz, did I already mention him? But either way, there's another one for you. Raymond Carmel, you know, thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Please do us a favour if you are watching this stream, help us out a little bit if you can. Please do smash a cheeky little like on it. Also give it a share on social media if you're that way inclined, which I have neglected to do, which I'm about to do now. So there you go, I've just tweeted it out. If you guys just want to retweet my tweet as well, that would be freaking awesome, just to spread the word of the pig and the hen. Okay then, hen, so anything you wanted to talk about in the world of Spurs or football before we get onto the United stuff?
Well, not so much. I mean, obviously we had our FA Cup fixtures. We've had the draw for the 5th round, which is intriguing. I mean, I've seen United's next fixture, which is either going to be Northampton or Derby. I think either of those are very interesting for you.
We want the
Obviously,
Derby one because of Wayne Rooney and everything.
Of course you do.
We want to see Rooney come back and play
stolen my
against us.
thunder already. Did I say that you could speak pig? Did I say I'm stopping?
Well, this
now?
was a point that I wanted to
pig's
make
turn.
about a United player, but
Oh,
there you go. The question I asked you was,
it really?
what about what is interest to you in the footballing world other than Man United related stuff? But that's fine. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to get it in there first. I wanted to say Rooney's coming back to play United before you. You got me.
Okay, well, as far as FA Cup goes, obviously Tottenham Hotspur have Southampton again. They're coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the same fashion that Middlesbrough did a couple of weeks before. So it's another replay for us. The last thing that we want at the moment, with the injury problems we've had with Harry Kane being out. But there we go. It is what it is. We're still in the competition. Hopefully we're going to take Southampton down. And if we do take Southampton down, we will have Norwich next, a team that I think we've beaten twice this season in the Premier League. We certainly won the other day. Memory escapes me right now. So, I'll take it. I'd rather have them than West Brom or something. Someone full of confidence in the Championship. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, Spurs should feel pretty reasonably good about their cup possibilities, for the next couple of seasons, just simply because Jose Mourinho, say what you want about him, he's a good cup manager, he wins trophies. You stick him in a cup competition, he's got the ability to tactically manoeuvre through the competition, and he's proven that time after time, even with a shoddy United side. So, yeah, maybe there could be a bit of silverware on the horizon for you in the future. It's possible. Shout out to you, Mark Sin. Loved your call last week. Thanks for getting in here, mate. He comments and he says, we need that face on the thumbnail as an emoji. That's a great idea. So I'm going to get a Henry Hotspur face emoji on there, I think.
I mean, honestly, that took me 2 seconds. That was the first picture the first and only picture that I sent the pig. I tried to pull a face. I was in my pajamas. I don't know if you can tell from the shoulder up of the thumbnail there. But it's almost like a traditional kind of Chinese winter pajama wear that I've got on the go there.
You can't tell that at all, mate. You can't tell that at all from the picture.
That, there we go.
What I must say is, it's sort of like the face you're pulling in that picture. What are you trying to achieve here? It's like, oh, I'm hard. Do you know what I mean? I look hard, don't I?
As long as I look harder than you, mate, that's what I was trying to
I think
achieve.
you do in that picture, mate. That is if you look like that all the time, I don't know if we could be friends, mate. I think I'd just be too intimidated all the time.
Oh, would you? Yeah. Put the mask back on. No, what was I going to say? What Mark said whilst you're there, mate, I know you're going to watch the whole show, of course you are. But no, me and the pig, we both really appreciated the phone-in last show, especially with the questions, even though I struggled a little bit, so did the pig to a certain extent, a little bit tricky.
No, I wouldn't say that.
We loved that. I'd say the rest of the listeners out there probably loved it too. So, this could this be a regular thing? But we can make this a regular thing, maybe.
Yeah, Henry came up with all sorts of names. He was messaging me for the possible name of the segment, so... yeah, we'll have a chat with you later, Mark, if you're around. Thanks very much for that call. That was awesome. Few shout-outs early on for a couple of super chats that have come in here. Hot shot, my man Alex. One of the many Alexes on this channel, but shout out to you, my friend. Thank you very much for getting in there with a super chat. Also, JP has sent one in. Top man, another absolute supporter and legend of the channel. Alex Rincon asked, we had calls last week. Alex Rincon, yes, we did, my friend. If you're available today, please do give us a call in. It'd be great to hear from you. We had a few calls. Obviously not been listening to the show, have you, Alex? Yeah, boy, Naughty as well with the super chat says, good morning from Boston, lads. Fernandez, get in. Is that Boston, UK or Boston, Massachusetts? Let us know either way. Thanks very much for joining us. Great to be having you in here. Gungshi says, hens in pyjamas. So, he looks like he's in a closet, doesn't he? And I'm not talking about from a sexuality point of view. I'm just talking about he's actually physically in a closet. Oh, is that the cityscape?
Well, it looks like the light. No, it's not. That's the inside of my apartment. So, I mean, I know, it must look similar. But no, obviously the interior light's gone off. I do have a light outside on the balcony. Let me see if I can capture it right there. There you go. So that's the light on the inside of the balcony. And obviously we have hanging clothes there. We might have a bra over there if you're lucky. But no, you're not going to see that. It's not my bra either, just in case anyone was wondering. And you've got some other items of clothing here, etc. If I turn the camera round, I am working with an iPhone 6S, just to remember. So we're talking about 5-year-old Apple technology for you Android lovers out there, or for your Apple lovers out there, appreciating that it still looks decent enough, doesn't it, on a 6S? Old technology. Can you see the 4th tallest building in the world over there? I can. You probably can't. No. This is an iPhone 6S. But there is the 4th tallest building over the world there, and it is called the Canton Tower, and I have a view of it from my apartment.
That's pretty sick, mate. That's pretty awesome. You never told me that. Should be called the Canton apartment if you live near it, mate, but... My bad. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, everybody in there. Matt Lewis, I can see as well, one of the channel members. Thanks very much for getting in here. So let's get on to the elephant in the room, if you like, or let's get on to the main sort of talking points for United fans anyway. Well, there's a couple of main ones actually, but the first one we'll get into is Bruno Fernandes is set to have a medical tomorrow, Thursday, for United, ahead of a potential 67 million, including add-ons move, somewhere around that. The fee is being bandied around, and it's hard to know exactly how much United are going to be paying for Bruno Fernandes, but the fee somewhere in that region. Finally, Woodward has plucked up the courage to make the deal happen. He's put in a significant enough offer. We've agreed terms with Sporting. This long drawn-out process is hopefully finally coming to an end. The thing is, there was some rumblings of Barcelona also being interested in Bruno Fernandes, but I think United are going to get our man. I think that was something that was just created to try and increase the pressure on United to sign Bruno Fernandes. I can't wait to see him in a United shirt. In terms of what it changes for me, for the squad depth, it doesn't change that much. We still need more players. I think the ownership, the leadership at the football club still in question. Ed Woodward, of course, is having a bit of a mare in the role that he's doing at the football club, which we'll get onto in a bit. Also, a little bit more about that and Ed Woodward. But Bruno Fernandes, medical on Thursday. Tomorrow, hopefully it all goes through without a hitch and United get our man before the end of the window. Still, though, if the window ends in January and all we've got is Bruno Fernandes at the end of it, I'd consider it a bit of a poor window for United, considering how much investment we actually really needed. But I also understand not always players are available in January that are easy to pinch off other clubs. So that is a factor. There was talk about him going to Spurs at one point. So are you bothered at all that he's going to United, Hen, or you're not bothered?
No, not really bothered. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really listening to what you're saying. It sounds exactly the same as all the garbage that I've been reading about Bruno Fernandes in connection with Manchester United for the whole transfer window. And I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely sick of it.
Oh my God, yeah.
So what I did pick out from what you said there was medical, confirmed. I mean, is it now? Is it? Can you categorically say it's
supposedly the medical's confirmed? You can never say categorically that it's going to take place or that it's going to either the transfer's going to go through. He could fail his medical. I mean, he has been playing for Sporting all the last couple of weeks. I'm sure he's physically fine. I don't think it's going to fall down on that. Maybe there'll be some sort of last-minute negotiation issue, or we won't be able to get the paperwork through, or United's fax machine's on the blink because we haven't replaced it since 1989.
So you think it's basically happening, yeah? You're pretty sure it's more than 50% is happening, yeah?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I would say 75% is going to happen now. It should absolutely...
75%? That's not great. I would usually say, surely it should be at least 90% once clubs are agreed, once the player's happy and the agent's happy, it should be at least 90% there, should it not? You're saying 75, that fills me with doubt already. And is this doubt being created by all the uncertainty for the whole transfer window?
Well, I think the doubt is created by having a potato in charge as chief executive and looking at what he's done previously with bringing transfers through the door before the end of the windows. Like, there was all this talk about last year we were trying to sign Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire and all these guys. It just takes United so long to process the transfer of a player, it seems. So usually I'd agree with you, and I'd say, 90% done. But you've got to take off 15% just for the fact we've got a human potato upstairs. Do you know what I mean? That's the real, that's the real thing. Sure. He's shown in the past he's not the most...
They may be almost there, ready to sign, pen to paper, and they just take a look at the man and they think, do you know what? I ain't getting involved with no potato.
That's right, yeah. So Bruno Fernandes, hopefully he does come and sign for United. He's a player that we need, creative midfielder, 25 years of age, coming to the best years of his career. Come on, just get the deal done now, United. It's been dragging on so long. Henry's sick of it. He's a bloody neutral. What about us United fans? It's been Bruno on, off, all freaking year. And,
well, this is it. I mean, to come back to your question about, do I feel bad because he's not coming to Tottenham? I don't. We don't need a player like Bruno Fernandes. Of course, it'd be brilliant to have him there, but we've got so many players in that kind of attacking midfield position. That is really not where we need to be strengthening. Of course, you can never say no, but that is not my biggest problem at the moment. And obviously, with this new signing, Bergwijn or whatever his name is, obviously again an attacking player. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly what this guy's about. He's come completely out of the blue. You've lost Rashford, we've lost Kane. For me, we needed a number 9. We needed a big man up there that could hold the ball up. To be honest, at least Fernando Llorente In the previous season was a tried and tested, experienced big man up there that could get his head on the ball and score the goals. And that's the sort of player that we need right now. We've been linked with none other than Olivier Giroud, believe it or not. That's what I've been reading today, that we're favourites to sign Giroud. I don't see it happening. I don't. Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs.
In all honesty, that's what United should do, mate. We should absolutely go and sign Giroud if we could possibly do that. And I know some people don't rate Giroud, but I rate him. I think he's a very good player, great finisher, good in the air. Yeah. Handsome bastard too. Do you know what I mean?
There we go,
So it would be good to have Olivier Giroud in a United shirt. Some people may find that controversial, but I think he's exactly what we'd be missing at the moment. Somebody who can just be a bit of a backup, who's a quality enough player to come in and score some goals, gives us something a bit different. But always rated Giroud, always rated a bit of Olivier. So fair play to agree with
these types of players are underrated. I mean, I think me and you are in agreement as football critics, football analysts. I mean, we're amateur, of course we are.
Football analysts,
but. Are we really? I mean, but the fans out there are crying out for players like this. And these are the sort of players we need. Mourinho knows it. Mourinho wants it, I believe. And I hope we go out and get someone like that. Just whilst Kane's out, we need it. We don't need a Bruno Fernandes. We don't need, any of them kind of attacking midfield players right now. We just need that big lump up front.
Yes, I think you might be right there. I mean, he did make the Lo Celso deal permanent as well, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, yeah, brilliant player. He's been our best player. I know that you probably don't watch much Spurs.
I haven't seen much of him, to be fair, no.
He's been our best player the last few games that he's played in, by far. He's really shone.
Yeah. Well, I think it was the case for Tottenham that you needed to get some midfielders out the door because you did have a lot of competition there, almost too much competition. People are going to get annoyed, and obviously Jose's come in. He knows who he wants to keep, who he doesn't want to keep. He's obviously moved Eriksen on. That wasn't a big thing for him. He's been allowed to sign a player.
Eriksen wanted to go. This is the thing. If Eriksen wanted to stay, it could be a different story. Eriksen could be a main stake in Mourinho's side, but Eriksen already wanted to go. He didn't change his mind because Jose came in. And it is what it is, and we got rid of him for a good price.
Yeah, I just want to read this comment out from Derek Jason. How you doing? He says, "Oh, come on, guy, Giroud, spare me." So he obviously doesn't rate Olivier Giroud. Some people don't, but I certainly do. I think he's got great movement. He's not the quickest or the physically gifted, but in terms of in the air, his heading ability's great. Mm-hmm. His movement's wonderful. His finishing's fantastic.
Exactly.
That's exactly what United are missing right now. We
I
do
love
need
what
that
you say there, Pig. I'm in complete agreement. He doesn't need the speed. He doesn't need the youthfulness on his side and the bursts of energy. What we need, and I guess what United need, is someone that could just hold the line. You've got them young, speedy, talented players, and when it comes to just to the finished article that can use the head, receive the ball, hold the ball up, put the ball away when they're in the box. That is what Giroud is. And that is exactly what Tottenham need, and that's exactly what Manchester United need, because we're both lacking in that position.
100% agreeing with you, mate. I think absolutely we should both be trying to do our very best to sign him before the end of the window. I hope United do surprise us with something else. Getting Bruno Fernandes in, it's brilliant for us right now. But if we could just get somebody else in as well, like a good standard player like a Giroud, for instance, to help out up there, chip in with some goals, that would be fantastic. Because you have to remember we've got Rashford out for the most of the season now. Martial is looking pretty decent up there, but if there's any sort of injury issues, then we're going to really feel it with the depth in the squad that we've got right now. So we definitely need another forward player up there. I thought there was some wind noise from you there, Henry. I was thinking, have you gone out on the balcony, son? Is that even feasible?
I don't know. After the wind's it's died down. I mean, you can tell from the laundry here that there's nothing blowing around. So obviously there's no wind noise. I might have farted. Apologies. At least you're not having to smell it.
Oh dear, no worries.
It stinks.
It does. But anyway, yeah, so that's basically, Bruno Fernandes medical should be tomorrow. We'll keep you up to date on the channel with any sort of concrete happenings, goings on to do with the deal and United when we found out a little bit more about the price tag, etc. Confirmed. And hopefully soon, tomorrow, or at the very latest, just before the end of the window, he will be stood with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, holding the shirt and as a United player come the end of the window. But I do hope we get some other business done. It sort of takes me on to something else I wanted to talk about, or to do with United in this whole saga, which is Ed Woodward's family home was attacked last night by a mob of angry United fans, aka a mob of angry United chavvies. It seemed like with the pictures, like some teenage chavvies, who actually lit a flare, threw it over, or a couple of flares, I think, threw it over the property. Apparently Woodward and his family were not home at the time. But I mean, it's one thing that Woodward's an incompetent man when it comes to his job. He's just a man doing his job. He's a yes man for the Glazers. He's going to do that job. He's got to support and feed his family and all that good stuff. Now, he's not very good at his job, in my opinion. I don't think he should be in charge of the club. It's really the Glazers you should be protesting at. Woodward, yeah, we can protest and sing Woodward out and all that stuff, but in order to get him sacked, you're going to have to protest higher up, I think. But it's just completely unacceptable anyway, the point I wanted to make. You can't go to somebody's house, whether you agree with what they're doing, disagree with what they're doing. He's not a murderer, you know, he's not a child molester, he's not a monster. He's a freaking chief executive of a football club. He's not doing the best of jobs, to be fair, you know. But you can't go to his house in an angry mob mentality looking for blood. I just find it incredibly wrong that would happen. I mean, I think if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm just trying to do my job at United, trying to improve them, work for the Glazers. Maybe my resources are limited. Maybe what I'm allowed to do is limited by the Glazers. I'm trying to do what I do, and then you get somebody coming to your family home where you've got kids, children at the property, and they're trying to incite some sort of riot of violence.
At the property,
yeah, possibly at the property. But I think I just think it is.
No one was in the property.
I think it's deplorable. I just wanted to talk about it and say it is pretty deplorable. I mean, I really dislike Woodward, but you can't go around messing with people. It's not his family hasn't done anything wrong, you know. They're gonna have to live in a little bit of fear for a while. They don't know what's going on. If somebody comes to your house, lights flares, throws it over a big mob, a group of people, you don't know if that's going to stop. You don't know if there's going to be repeat incidents, if it's going to escalate. So they must be living with a little bit of little bit of fear right now, which I just think is wrong because they've done nothing wrong.
It's completely ridiculous. I mean, you've got two situations that of Woodward, right? Situation number one is Woodward is not doing well. He's trying his best. He's literally working with what he's got, but he's absolutely in the deep end. Really just cannot handle his job, and that's why he's not doing well. Okay, that's number one. Number two is he's actually corrupt. You know, he does not care about Manchester United. He doesn't want Manchester United to do well on purpose, which I think is very unlikely. Okay, the fact is, if you had situation number two out of those two situations that I've just mentioned, he wouldn't be allowed to remain in the job unless the Glazers were also corrupt. So this is sounded like close encounters of the third kind right now, and I'm not trying to make it into that. Okay, but even situation number one or situation number two, he does not deserve what has happened there, because that's just pure crime. As you said, he is not out there committing crimes, murdering people, touching children, etc. Nothing like that. He's just Ed Woodward that's doing a shit job at Manchester United. So it's completely unacceptable to be chucking stuff into his home. I mean, who does that? Why? I mean, you're not a passionate Manchester United fan. You are just looking for an excuse to exert some kind of aggression because you've got fucking issues. Simple as that.
Yeah, and posting it on Snapchat and all these stuff, thinking they're so cool. It's like, really, they're actually a scourge on the fan base. Like, sorry to say it, but I mean, I know some people probably think that about me, whatever. Fair enough, we've all got our opinions, but I personally view it as a very, very tiny minority of but basically they're thugs, because it's just a thug mentality to go and do something like that. Sure, you can protest, get your voice heard, all that good stuff, but you don't go to somebody's house when their family's there. So I find it completely wrong. I mean, chucking a pie in his face at the game, that's sort of the level I'm at. Maybe not going to his home and throwing flares over there. But I draw the line at pooing through the letterbox, personally.
Are they hoping? I'm not. Yeah.
Or maybe spray painting cock piss potato head on the side of his frickin' Bentley or whatever. I draw the line at that.
Guys, if you see that, Pig is instigating this kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Pig was the one there saying, "No, lads, you're going too far now. This was the line right here."
Yeah, I just want to read this comment quickly from Justin Harris as well. He says, PR stunt? So, it could actually, imagine if it was a PR stunt. You're a conspiracy theorist, Henry.
Well,
the club has set
there we
this
go.
angry
This
mob
is
up.
why
There's
I was
some
talking about.
photos that are quite professionally done as well from the scene. Now, what if Manchester United have instigated this whole thing to try and get the fans to rally behind Ed Woodward a little bit and take some of the pressure off? Can you imagine that?
I know. Well, this is what I mean. I mean, this is situation 2 again, where everything is messed up at Manchester United. I mean, I don't know. I don't look into this stuff. I don't care about United enough. I mean, could the fact be that, it's just genuine fans that have taken it too far after a few drinks, okay, and they're hoping that Woodward is going to be scared off and literally leave his post, leave his job, because he's saying, my family comes first. I'm not going to, be subject to this, and I'm going to have to step down because, I just don't want this in my life. And if he did that, I'd feel well sorry for him. I'd feel like you shouldn't have to step down for your job because you've been forced out by violence. That shouldn't be the case. He should be stepping down because he knows that's the right thing to do. But he's not going to do that because obviously it's a job for him. So I don't know, mate. There's so many angles to this, isn't there? I'm not going to side with any angle here. There's so many angles. But what the angle that I will side with is nobody should be going to his home and throwing, whatever they're throwing. Unacceptable.
Yes, I mean, it is a bit of a deplorable act. I mean, he's obviously not great at his job, but you don't go and mess with somebody's family. I mean, that's pretty messed up. But it is just it is a small portion of the fan base, but it does make the club look bad. If it was a repetitive incident, like if it keeps happening or it happens with players, or I don't know, if it just continues to happen, then maybe the Glazers actually would make a decision and get rid of Ed, because nobody wants that sort of negativity shrouding the club. So in one way, I can see why it's a point of protest, but at the same time, it's just a little bit too extreme to take it to somebody's doorstep, that's not cool. Anything else to add on that one, Hen, before we move on?
Not so much. End of the day, I think Woodward's there to stay. You're just gonna, if you're a United fan out there, you're just gonna have to get used to it. Let's just wait and see what happens. End of the day, it's not the end of the world. You're there or thereabouts. There's still a chance that you could break into the top 4 this season. You're still in the FA Cup. Just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I know Liverpool are going to win this season. Just, we already know that. Get over it.
Unfortunately, it is true, yeah. And there could be some sort of a Scouse treble on the go as well, which would be truly sickening. I mean, it would just not put it beyond them. What do you think about Kloppy with this whole winter break thing?
Well, you'll have to refer. This is nothing to do with playing a weakened side against Shrewsbury, is it? What are you on about?
Well, basically, what Klopp's doing is from what I understand, is he's sort of instigating a winter break for Liverpool, effectively. So the first team players can be rested. He's not even overseeing the next game. It's like, yeah, really? because I guess he just likes the idea of a winter break. I don't really know the reasoning behind it. Maybe he just thinks the players. I think he just thinks the players need a break. Obviously, most of the leagues around the continent, they do have a winter break. He's maybe a bit accustomed to that. He thinks the team would benefit from that. Maybe they've got a bit of depth there to be able to mix it around anyway. But yeah, he's basically doing his own winter break effectively with the club. I mean, there's so many points ahead.
Hang on a sec. What you're saying that he's not going to attend the next Premier League game, Liverpool's next Premier League game out of choice?
I'm not sure.
Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not sure what.
Or is it just for the FA?
Yeah, because there's an international break, isn't there?
I'm sure he was at the FA Cup. He was.
Yeah, no, he was at the previous game, but I'm on about, I think, the next game. It's something like that. I mean, Archie's just coming. He's basically saying I'm on break and won't show up for the FA Cup. Okay, so it's just the FA Cup versus Shrewsbury. Apparently, the people are saying.
But he was there. What, you mean for the replay?
Yes, there's a replay, isn't there? Because they drew 2-2, didn't they? So yeah, that's right. For the replay, he's not going to be there. He's not going to be on the touchline.
I mean, that's a joke. For me, that's an absolute joke. I don't like that at all. I mean, I understand if it's his premises to allow his first team players to have a holiday. I can understand how he feels there, but I don't think that the FA Cup should. Well, I don't know. I mean, there have been teams that have been fined in the past, or have been. I'm pretty sure this is right. This is true. Where teams have been. Arsene Wenger used to do it all the time. Like, there have been occasions where clubs have got in trouble for just fielding weakened sides. Is that not the case?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
for a start.
Yeah. I mean, there was one season I remember when United pulled out of it because we were playing in the World Club Cup Championship. And that season, we just had so many different competitions to play in, and I guess Fergie just prioritised it, and that season pulled us out of the cup. So, we've done stuff like that in the past, but this isn't obviously that. I mean, if you think about it, they're playing Shrewsbury. Do they need the first team out against Shrewsbury? Does he really need to be on the sidelines to beat Shrewsbury? So, they call it a winter break or whatever. It seems just like having a game off. Give the players a bit of a rest.
But for him to not be on the side, I mean, I understand he can pick what players he wants. And it's up to whoever regulates the FA Cup to decide if him, completely changing his team around is acceptable or not. I'm not going to judge on that. But I think for him to not appear at the replay when they're hosting Shrewsbury at home is an absolute complete disrespect. So if they didn't have Shrewsbury, if they had a replay against Manchester United, are you saying that Klopp would have just fucked off to the Bahamas?
I can't imagine they would,
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so, mate. It's a complete fucking disrespect. Up the Shrews, mate. Fuck me. Come on, Shrews. Do you know
Always
what I mean?
come on, Shrews, anyway.
I have no problem against Liverpool, but I think that is fucking sickening from Klopp.
Yeah,
I do.
Floppy jalopy cloppy. He's doing a great job.
You rolled me with that. I didn't know that. This is a fresh reaction from the head.
I don't know. It's strange. Like, why is he having the time if he's going to a bloody Bratwurst festival or something? Yeah, darling. Just going over to Germany quickly. Like, what's he doing? Just freaking manage your football club, Jurgen. Bizarre. It is bizarre.
I know. I mean, he doesn't even have to train. He could just give all the players a complete rest and say, we're not going to bother with training. Nobody would really know. I mean, I guess it would leak out into the press. But, people expect to see his German bum on that fucking bench. The fans are going to be there cheering the team on, aren't they? But the manager can't be bothered.
Well, I'll be happy not to see that bastard anyway,
wrong,
mate. I'll be happy not to see him, mate, because his teeth are bloody glaring. Anytime the camera pans over to you, got to turn the brightness down the old TV set, son. Hey, I want to read this comment out here from Alex Rincon. Thank you for the comment here, Rincon80. He says, I agree. I think it's disrespectful to Shrewsbury. I hope that motivates them to win. That'd be great if they got knocked out of the cup by the Shrews. Yeah, absolutely. G Wolf United, shout out to you, my friend. How you doing? He says, you think the players you signed think you're still going to come above us? I don't know. Henry says, with the players you signed, do you think you'll be coming and finishing above us in the league?
Above United?
Indeed.
I'm going to come out and say yes. I think we are going to finish above Manchester United. I think we have the better players, all in all. I think,
I'd agree with that.
Rashford's out, Kane's out, but I think we do have the better players all in all, and I think we have the more experienced manager. So for me to say that we're not going to finish above you would be, that'd be a complete failure from Jose and a complete success from Ole Gunnar. I think really we should be finishing above you this season. I do.
Yes, I mean, Jose, like you say, he has got the experience. I don't know, though. I still think United will finish above Spurs. I think Jose's struggled a little bit at the start. Look, I know he's not been there a long time, but it's not like being plain sailing for the guy at the start of his Tottenham career here. So I'm expecting him to do maybe what he's been doing, which is fall behind from the pace of the pack, really. The game has moved on a little bit. The Guardiolas, the Klopps of this world, they'll show you that out there on the pitch. Jose, I don't know, mate. I just don't know if he's got the ability to even get to Spurs in the top four in the next couple of years. Might win a trophy, though. Anyway, we won't get on to that. We've butchered that topic in the past, mate. So.
We have. I mean, next couple of years, I think you're just, that is just bad blood between you and Jose because of you didn't like him at United towards the end. But end of the day, for you to say that we're not going to finish in the top four next season with Jose, that would be a complete failure on Jose's part if that was the case.
If you
completely
yes,
so.
I mean, do you think it would be a failure if he doesn't get top four this season? Or you would allow him that?
This season's different. This season,
not really
his job
season,
is to well, exactly. There we go. Exactly. It's the same parameters that I set out for Ole Gunnar.
Last year, yeah.
Countless pig of the hen shows ago, and I won't even bleat it out again. You know, comment in if you know. Pig, you say it. You know what is expected, bare minimum, from my point of view, for both Manchester United and Tottenham this season in terms of position. Tell us.
Well, I think I can't. I've got a shite memory, mate. But when you said you'd be happy with top 8, didn't you? I said I'd be
to
happy with
honest,
top 8 as well at the start of this.
I think I replicate what I expected from Manchester United because we're in a similar position to you right now. Because Mourinho's come in, and end of the day, he's got to work with what he's got to work with. But I said, Ole Gunnar, I'm being generous to Ole here. I'm being so generous that if United finish 8th or above, and you're looking okay, then maybe Ole, shouldn't just straight away get sacked. That's all I said. I didn't say he should keep his job. I said, anything less than 8th, he needs to be sacked. And you were gun ho, pardon the pun. You were Ole Gunnar ho against me there, saying if the team's looking good, if we're looking fine, if we finish 8th, it doesn't matter. I beg to differ. If you finish less than 8th, it's not good enough. Now, keep saying that all season.
No, I'd actually even argue now it's got to the point, especially recently, we were in 5th place and the majority of people are calling for Ole out. I did a Twitter poll. It's only a few hundred people who voted. It's not a real massive cross-section of United fans. But 60% voted Ole out, 40% voted Ole in. So at the time, this was after the Burnley game, most people on my Twitter anyway, not that really tells you anything, wanted Ole out of the football club, right? And that was us in 5th place in the league, still in all the cups. So I dread to think what's going to happen when City tank us late and knock us out the League Cup, when Wayne Rooney scores a hat-trick against us in the FA Cup 5th round, knocks us out that one, and we finish bloody 7th. I hate to think what's going to happen there. Well, I know what's going to happen. The pressure will mount, it'll be too much, and the Glazers will make the decision to get rid of Ole. I think he's really fighting for his job. At the start of the season, or after we had that slump, and we were right down there, we were right down near the relegation zone, and I was talking about top 8 would probably be acceptable in a rebuilding season. I think with where we are now, and how things have sort of progressed with him and the fan base and the pressure and all that stuff, I think he's got to finish a little bit higher than that now to keep his job. I really, really do.
Wow. Okay. Well, I've changed
my tune a little bit,
and I'm still where I was. So it just goes to show the hen is in tune. Okay.
Yes.
You've changed yours, and I'm in it.
I mean, the fan base won't be happy until United are back in the top 4, and rightfully so. But I think Ole's not really had the most time, the most investment. If we get Bruno Fernandes, that's a great addition, and that could really.
I think you're going to have Pochettino come the end of the season. I think Ole will do what he's doing. I think he's going to finish 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that, and Pochettino's going to come in. I haven't heard any absolute no-nos when it comes to Pochettino linked with Manchester United. This story keeps cropping up again and again, but it's small news because it's not now. It's not instant. Everybody wants to know what's going on now. But if you read between the lines, which I always do, I think Poch is coming to United. I'm going to leave you that thought. I'm going to go make it rain in Guangzhou right now, but in private, and I'll let you speak on Poch to United if Solskjaer doesn't make it work, and I'm going to come back and hear a little summary from you, Pig, if that's okay.
Read between the lines.
No, the fingers are too fast. Right, I'll be back in a second.
Back in a second. Where you going, mate? Oh, he's bottled out already. No, anyway, I'll just read this coming out from the Rinconator. He comments, reports came out that Ole is safe no matter what. I think he should be given time. Even Big Sam recently came out and said he's doing the best he can with this squad. So, I think the squad is terrible, Alex. I agree with you. I think there's not many managers who could come in and do a better job. It's not like you're going to get, Guardiola in and he's going to get United to win the league with this very squad. I just think the squad level's just not there. The quality, the depth. We've compared it to Spurs, we've compared it to City and Liverpool. The amount of world-class players we actually have at the club is few and far between. We're lacking in certain areas. We need a lot more depth. We need creative sparks. We still need a really solid central midfielder, defender type player. We need a winger, absolutely. We've got injury problems. Pogba's out, Rashford's out, McTominay's out. We absolutely needed some more players. So he didn't have the best squad to begin with, but certainly as the season progressed and the team got more and more stretched with injuries and that sort of stuff, it's just made Ole's position a lot more difficult. And I think that we have to understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. Fergie didn't get United successful in a year or a day or a season. We've had a little spell of real mediocrity now since Fergie left, and we need to get back to our glory days. Absolutely. Look how long it's taken Liverpool to do that. We can't expect it to happen overnight, especially with our handicap of having the board that we've got and the owners that we've got not fully invested in this side. If it was like City and they're trying to get up there and dominate and win, they just go and spend countless amounts of money and sign top quality players and appoint top quality managers, and eventually it's going to click and happen. But United can't really do it that way right now because of the ownership of the club. So I do think it's. I agree with you entirely, Alex. I hope Solskjaer's here until the end of the season, regardless. Look, if Fernandez comes in and performs, and we get up there and get in the top 4, I'm sure everybody will be getting behind Ole Gunnar at the moment. Football fans are pretty fickle, and if it doesn't pan out like that, and we finish 7th or whatever, he probably will be getting the sack. But I hope that he does stay. Henry, where did you go, my friend?
And I made it rain in Guangzhou. I already said. Anyway, nobody cares about that.
Oh,
Were you talking about Pochettino? Were we talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer losing at home at Old Trafford to Burnley? What was it? 2 to Burnley, 0 to you. For me, I've had a few beers now, and I'm not going to let you escape this. This result is completely unacceptable. Historically,
I don't want to talk about that garbage, mate. It's from last week.
End of the day,
we've smashed the mighty Tranmere since then, mate.
Well done. It's disgusting. And what you're saying, I've been gone 2 seconds, and now you're confiding in Alex, someone to comfort you when it comes to, Ollie will be okay, everything will be fine. No, it won't, mate. No, it won't. No. You cannot have results like that. You don't see Jose get results like that. You come to me when Jose gets a disgusting result like that. Did he have any result like that whilst he was Manchester United manager? He lost, 3-0 to Tottenham Hotspur? Was that at Old Trafford, or was that... I can't even
that's worse than losing 2-0 to Burnley, mate.
We took, yeah.
Come on.
No, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? At home?
No, look.
That is a pretty bad result.
Mate, are you serious? Jose's been having a bit of a nightmare since he's come into Spurs, man. I'm sure, I can't think of any specifics because my memory's bad, but I know there's been a handful of results that have been really poor for Jose. So I think you're having a mess. Do you know what annoys me about you, Head? You get a few beers down you get all freaking brave, don't you? A couple of weeks ago when you were on your sober trip, you're a little melter, son. I preferred that, Head. No, it's true though. Fair enough. It was a terrible result, mate. Burnley beat us. Honestly, the game was just awful. But the first half, we did dominate. But we just couldn't finish. But you got to finish. You got to beat Burnley at home. Terrible result. I can't defend that result. What I would say is the team is ridiculously stretched. We do have fitness concerns. Even the players who were on the pitch, some of them are not 100%. The likes of Daniel James, young lad, been absolutely rinsing himself this season for United. He needed a break, and a lot of the players did as well. So I think we've got a stretched squad. Injury problems impacting the results out there on the pitch and the performances. Should United's side beat them with the players we've got out there and the wages they're on and all that? Yeah, we should. So I can't really defend the result other than what I just said. Yeah.
It's all right. I'm not going to say anything more. You sat there. You're waiting for it, are you? You're waiting for me to get the cane.
Just seemed like you want to have a good old dig at United. The facts are United are still significantly ahead of Tottenham in the league, my friend.
What do you mean significantly? Aren't we on the same amount of points? You're ahead of us on goal difference.
Yes,
that's the Premier League table right up.
That is significant, my friend.
Significant by goal difference.
Of course.
Are you kidding me?
So is it significant enough to separate us in the league table? Then it's significant, my friend.
Yes, yes, it's significant enough. It's different to being significant in general.
No. Let's have a look at this. So yeah, we're both on 34 points, but you've forgotten about the extra +1 goal difference that United have, Hen. Do you know what I mean? that is significant.
The insignificant amount.
It's actually the most insignificant way we could be above you that's possible.
Pretty much. No, but it's not. If we are on the same goal difference, then it goes to goals scored. Is that right? This is an interesting one. I love this. So it goes from whoever's got the most points, then it's goal difference, and then it's goals scored. Is that correct? Would you agree with me on that? Right. I'm pretty sure. And then what is it after that?
Well, if everything's the same, then those two teams, I guess, would have to have some sort of a playoff. I think that's.
Does it not come down to the results during the season, or does it not come down to disciplinary or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it does, but that seems like a ridiculous way to decide the league title or something like that.
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
It never happens. That's why nobody knows. But it's an interesting question. Any of you kind of geeks out there, football geeks, and you're not really a geek, you're a pretty cool geek if you know these proper football geek things, let us know.
Yeah, eventually it just gets down to alphabetical and they just go, just give it to Arsenal. Do you know what I No, they'd have to have a playoff if everything was exactly the same, I'm sure. Mark Singh comments then head-to-head. So, yeah, it goes, yeah, like you said, Henry, there's various
to their
stages.
results, to their exact results over
And
the
Saint
season
comments,
between those two teams.
Yeah, the Saint comments, if everything is equal, a playoff takes place. So, yeah, that would happen. Yeah, that would absolutely happen. Nice one. Well, thank you very much to everybody that's joining us still today. There's still a whole bunch of you legends in here. Been around about, 140 of you legends in here right now. That's bloody awesome for a Wednesday afternoon at this time. So thanks for stopping by on the Pig and the Hen Show. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow the audio version of the podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, your podcast app, whatever one you use, all that good stuff. So check it out. Search Flying Pig United or Pig and the Hen Show podcast. Shout out to a few new peeps I can see in here as well. Shower God, Gary Wells, Danny, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Daily Bits, getting his bits out daily. DJ Samuel, you're all a bunch of legends. Thanks so much for joining us today. Gungshi with a comment here, comments, the City game is on when I'm leaving for the airport. Great timing, bloody nightmare. Unless you've got a little bit of a commute or a little bit of a distance of travel to the airport and you can watch on your phone.
So Gungshi, why are you leaving the airport? I mean, I know you're based in is it Taiwan? I know the outbreak hasn't, it's there, but it's not bad there. And
he's not chosen the best time to travel, though, has he?
But wait a sec. Is it because he's leaving the whole area, the continent? It could be. I mean, we've already had in Wuhan, which is the epicenter of the virus right now. We've had the United States, we've had the Japanese go in there and actually repatriate, is that the word for it? Some of their citizens, some of their people, essentially. So that this is happening. I've also heard that there are a lot of people, non-Chinese out in mainland China. I guess I don't know so much about Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau. But there's people very scared about this thing, and people are talking about leaving whilst they still can. I know that British Airways have actually cancelled all their flights between China and the UK until March at the earliest. You have American Airlines, I think, doing the same. So it's pretty serious.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be inside a plane with hundreds of people breathing the same air, to be fair, right now. But
this is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. It's like being traveling in general is just as much of a risk as staying put, as far as I'm concerned.
But I guess major airports are screening everybody right now. The extent of the screening, I don't know. I know that the incubation period of this disease is obviously a couple of weeks, and it's you can pass it on to people in that time. So it's a bit dodgy for Gungers, mate. Take care, Gungers. Make sure you double mask.
For sure. I mean, I want to be very careful with anything that we say on this show because, I mean, I've read so many different things. I mean, so much misinformation. But is it misinformation? We don't even know. Okay, so I've read the incubation period up to 14 days, but usually 3 to 7 days. That's kind of how I see it. But again, I'm not 100% sure. The Chinese believe that it is contagious during the incubation period, but it could. That could not be true. The United States, the WHO, the World Health Organization, said there's no categoric evidence of that as of yet. But if that is the case, it's very scary. I mean, I could speak about this a lot because obviously I've been looking into this, researching this to make sure I'm okay. I've got a family out here. Guangdong is the second most affected province of mainland China at the moment, and we're right there. But
so is it just like a ghost town in your city at the moment? Like everybody's staying off the streets? No,
it's not. No, I mean, to be honest, I have stayed in. My family stayed in. I did go out a couple of days ago, just to get some exercise in. Actually, I just did a bit of hiking, but I stayed away from obviously public areas. Wore my mask. Just walked along the street. People are out and about. People are still driving cars. People are. Walking with their masks, obviously doing essential shopping, etc. But it's very difficult to know how bad the outbreak is at the moment. If you look at, let's get realistic here. If you look at the statistics of flu worldwide, annually than influenza kills hundreds of thousands of people. That's just a fact. Okay. Yes, the vast majority of those people are, the elderly, people that already have underlying conditions, etc. But it is a killer. There's advice to have flu jabs. A lot of people don't take them. A lot of older people do take them, to be fair. Of course, flu is always mutating, so it's difficult. There is a few antiviral medicines, should we say, for flu in general. It's just flu's one of those things that people, because they've heard of it, they're used to it. It's not something that's causing a panic, because it's just a general horrible thing that kills people. Okay, everybody has to live with it. The thing that's scary about this coronavirus is the fact that the number of infected worldwide now is already more than what SARS was. Okay, so SARS was a big thing back in the early 2000s. Was it 2003? I think it was 2003. There was an outbreak, and you had just under 6,000 people infected. I mean, now you already have the same number, but more, just short of that 6,000 mark infected worldwide. Death toll, you're looking at 130.
And that's just confirmed as well. That's just the confirmed.
That's confirmed.
Ones.
That is confirmed. So you're looking at a confirmed 132 deaths in the mainland China. None so far outside of China, but you have confirmed cases. I think 4 in Germany, 3 in France, a couple in Canada, 5 in the USA. I think Thailand has about 8.
Belgium's
South Korea,
got 1,
5. Belgium's got 1 now. Well, that's new to me. I didn't know that. Australia's got 5. So it's out there. At the moment, the problem place is Wuhan. It is the biggest city, I believe, in the Hubei region of China, which is just a couple of provinces north of where I am here in Guangdong. And you're looking at just short of 3,000 people infected, and the majority of the deaths have been there. So I mean, if you actually look at the statistics, it doesn't seem like much. But the fact that you have a city the size of London under quarantine right now, you're looking at 11 million people that cannot leave the city. No one can get in, no one can get out unless that they're allowed to because of quarantine control there. It's pretty scary. But I think it's fair to be done. Did you know they're building a hospital there? They're going to be building a hospital within the next 7 days. There's going to be a hospital.
I heard they're building 2 temporary hospitals in China at the moment.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
it's mad, mate. I mean, I'd never even heard of Wuhan before. Maybe that's just my own geographical ignorance, but obviously I've heard of Beijing and Shanghai and all these major cities, but I never actually heard of Wuhan. And I was reading that article, it's like 11 million population. It's bloody mad. So yeah, literally like London. The density of China's cities and the population there obviously is very, very real. And if there's going to be an outbreak of a virus that's going to spread quickly, it will be in one of those densely populated cities. But yeah, seeing Wuhan as a ghost town with all the pictures and stuff, it's kind of scary. Apparently it started from a meat market, right?
Well, this is what the official story was, that you had something called the Huanan Seafood Market in Wuhan. That was, that you had people there that were selling, wild animals. So, stuff that we don't certainly see people buying or eating in the West. It's definitely stuff that, I turn my nose up, snake and bat. I mean, I have tried snake, I'll be honest with you, but bat and all sorts of stuff.
Bats, mate. You're asking for trouble getting a disease if you eat a bat. Do you know what I mean?
But I mean, it's believed. I mean, the story that was put out was this was spread or caused by people eating raw bat, and the coronavirus. Well, this Wuhan coronavirus is 94% accurately similar, from what I've read, to a coronavirus that is present in bats. However, it's not confirmed that it's not 100% confirmed, even though this was a story that was originally put out, that this is why, or this was the reason of the virus. I mean, it's common knowledge now that there's actually a research facility, within the vicinity of this market that is the place where they do the testing for virology, for all these kind of pandemic epidemic causes. And they've got this facility right there, slap bang in the middle of Wuhan, near this place. So, it begs the question, did something escape from this place? Was something accidentally released? Who knows?
Yeah, well, that was almost like a proper little news segment we just did there, Henry, by the way. Like, you're the correspondent out there in Guangzhou. It's very well delivered from you there, my friend. I just wanted to say that. But yeah, scary stuff, obviously. Hopefully it gets contained. Hopefully the spread of it is contained and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, very, very, very worrying times, mate. I just want to say, on behalf of everybody watching, there's a few people commenting. Rincon sent me a private message the other day to check up on you. Just want to make sure, wish you and your family all the best. Don't go out if you don't need to, mate. Do you know what I mean? Don't put yourself at risk at the moment.
I think everything's going to be fine. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the scary thing is, what annoys me is there's people out there saying, oh, it's flu kills so many people, so many more people a year, and everybody's kind of, throwing a hissy fit about this. And I understand their argument. Of course, flu is a massive killer. The trouble with this is there is no vaccine for this. There is no cure for this. It's the majority of the people it's killing is the elderly. And it's, about 10% or 5% of people that it's infecting, it's killing. But at the moment, we don't know enough about this. I think, precaution is the best thing to do. And the fact is that it is spreading. We don't know what this stuff is about.
Yeah, very, very, very dangerous, mate. Very worrying. Yeah, I mean, it's already in many, many countries worldwide. We've seen the spread of it. I saw an estimate yesterday, actually, that there's 6,000 confirmed cases, as you say. But I saw a couple of different estimates from scientists and people in the know, virology. I don't know, but they were estimating somewhere to between 70 and 100,000 people could actually be affected globally from it. That's a conservative estimate, supposedly. So, yeah, we could be onto a real global issue. There's obviously no vaccines for it or anything like that. There's no cure for it at the moment. I think the youngest case of somebody who's passed away is 36. Maybe they had had an underlying, respiratory problem or something like that, which has contributed to it. But it's not just the elderly that has been affected right now. There are some younger people, a 50-year-old man as well, which is not the oldest. It seems like it's affecting just the weak and the elderly, obviously. If you've got some underlying condition, maybe severe asthma or, I don't know, bronchitis at the time, well, I don't know, something like that, maybe you will be really under the cosh in terms of being affected by it. So, yeah, just to hope that anybody who's affected or knows anybody that's affected, hopefully everybody's okay and we can move on and hopefully the cure does come.
This is it. The important thing to do is just take a step back and just look at the maths of it. So when you look at flu, you have like hundreds of millions of people infected with flu every year, and hundreds of thousands, or maybe less than that, I'm not sure of the exact figures, die every year. So you actually have a very small percentage of people that die from flu, but you have a boatload of people that are infected year on year. That's just simple facts, okay? With this new virus, we don't know how many people have been infected. We've had a confirmed case of 132 people that have died, from official stats of 6,000 people infected, and not all of those have recovered yet. So a lot of those are in critical condition. So we just have to wait to see what the fatality rate is in comparison to the amount of people infected. We need to stop the spread. From current figures, if millions of people were infected with this current Wuhan coronavirus, then we're looking at a global situation. We're looking at hundreds of thousands of fatalities, which nobody wants, of course. And I don't think that's going to happen. But people need to be vigilant and be careful, because and not just get carried away with comparing it to flu kills this many people, because we're dealing with a completely different kettle of fish right here.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I saw something actually, Hen, that 5 million people travelled in and out of Wuhan before
Correct.
the Chinese New Year celebration. So it just couldn't have happened at a worse time, really. You've got all these people going in there, visiting family or whatever they're doing for Chinese New Year celebrations, and then leaving. So it's like everybody's just taking that infection all across the country and across the world.
This is it. I might have even told you guys that I was, guys and girls, that I was going to be elsewhere for Chinese New Year, and that was the plan. We actually cancelled our train tickets once we were kind of advised to. Even my wife's family actually said, no, do you know what, stay where you are, we're not going to do the family celebrations this year, let's just, better safe than sorry. So we cancelled the train tickets, we've remained where we are. And what happened, of course, was 5 million people actually travelled outside of Wuhan to visit their loved ones, etc., across the rest of the country. By the end of the Chinese New Year, they're going to be wanting to go back to Wuhan or go back to wherever their workplace is or their normal place of abode. And we're going to just have to see what's going to happen. End of the day, right now, no one is allowed in and out of Wuhan as far as I'm concerned. As far as I know.
Scary stuff, mate. Comment here from Raptor. Thank you for commenting. Raptor comments, confirmed cases yesterday, 6,152 and 132 fatalities. So it's no joke, you know what I mean? It really is no joke. Although, Henry, I mean, part of me thinks, it's almost like the perfect storm of the whole new, the Chinese New Year celebrations, people going in and out, to have that as sort of like the epicenter. Could it be some sort of I don't even want to say it really, because you shouldn't really joke about stuff like this, but I was just going to say, is it some sort of man-made disease by the globalist elite? Because you like to talk about stuff.
End of the day, the fact that there is a facility there that is I think I don't know if it's the main facility in the whole of China, but it's certainly a top facility that was finished off in early 2018. So it's a brand new facility when it comes to studies into viruses and infections, etc. I mean, I'm no expert on this subject whatsoever. I've not tried to say anything on the show this evening that makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about. This is
you
just
always hear
what
conspiracies
I've read,
like that, don't you? They're like population control from the globalist elite and all this stuff. So, but anyway,
of course you do. I mean, for me, it's no. I mean, I don't see that. I don't see that at the moment. I just think it's either something that's escaped or it's something that's naturally occurred. But I don't think anyone's just purposely let this out. I don't see who would benefit from that.
No, fair play. I agree with you. It's too impossible to control either. Like who could actually end up contracting it?
Unless it's just a fire drill. It's just a fire drill. I mean, in all, I don't want to offend anyone. This is just my own personal musings, my own thoughts. I haven't read this anywhere. I was just thinking, okay, so if someone was that fucked up out there, they might think, right, this isn't that bad. Someone's gonna work out how to cure this shit and contain this stuff. But let's just release this, see how bad it gets, so that we know how to deal with something worse in the future, or just test run something. That's as far as I'm going to go with down that line tonight or this afternoon.
Tell you what, we need to send Jill Valentine into Wuhan, mate. Do you know what I mean? Mess up the Umbrella Corporation for good.
well, this is it. Yeah, exactly that.
Hey, yo, so we'll get into the segments then, the next segment of the show. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Please do smash us a cheeky little like on it if you are tuning in live on YouTube. And I want to get into the comment section just to read a few of your comments out before we get on to the next segment. Thank you all for joining us and getting involved in the live chat. Viking Red, how are you doing? Comments, Pig, it's the year of the rat. Bubonic plague. Crikey, symbolic. Gungshi comments, over 7,000 returned from Wuhan to Taiwan just before Chinese New Year. So there you go.
Well, that's a segment of the 5 million right there.
Exactly, that's a big segment. The Saint comments, New World Order. G Wolf comments, take care, Hen, even though you're a Spurs fan and your family as well. Very nice little well wish there from G Wolf. Thank you very much. Cootie comments, Hen, the lighting makes it look like the coronavirus apocalypse is outside.
Well, it is, though.
It actually is, yeah.
We've had 5 confirmed cases in Panyu, which is, well, I'm giving some personal information out right now, but that is my local area in Guangzhou. It's actually a big area. But we've had 5 confirmed.
Jesus, yeah.
I'm right next to a hospital. I can't actually get a shot of it right here, but I'm literally 5 minutes or 3 minutes away from a hospital that apparently had someone there, and I think they've shipped them off to a more major hospital. So yeah, it's here. It's here. It is here. But I'm not going to catch it as long as I don't go out and get in contact with it. End of the day, we're just going to have to see what happens within the next couple of weeks. This is why, even though it's been clear blue skies, sunny day, a bit chilly actually for here, but it's been a beautiful day. Usually I'd be taking the family out, having a lovely day out because it's holiday time right now. But no, we're staying in and we're watching Netflix equivalent. You know what I'm saying?
Alex Rincon comments, median is 57 years old. There have been reports of children being infected carriers, including a baby. However, most people have died for whom we have information about were over 60 year of age. So yeah, it definitely does sound like like the flu. It does affect the elderly, the vulnerable. If a baby had it, I'm hoping that the baby survives. So that goes to show you maybe it does just attack the immune systems of the older people.
For sure it does. For sure it does. As I said, I mean, it was the same with SARS. I mean, you know, the young fit people are unlikely to die if they're contaminated. But at the same time, if this was to infect all of our grandparents, our parents, depending on how old you are, across the world, then we're all going to be losing our loved ones. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to get our head around. Don't think, oh, it's not going to, you know, I'm young, I'm fit, I'm fine. You know, let's forget about that for 1 second. Let's just stop the spread of this horrible shit.
Well, hopefully there's a few bright sparks in a room, you know, doing experiments and thinking shit up right now to try and find a cure and a vaccination for it. Hopefully that
Of course they are.
Hopefully that is going to be not too far away.
Australia have actually recreated the virus for use so that they can study it and test it. I think the Chinese obviously are on top of that as well at the moment. So I'm hoping for the best. Fingers crossed. But we're all going to know more in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if there's anything else that I haven't said on the show right now that needs to be said, apart from if you're in the area, make sure you're washing your hands all the time. The masks are great, but actually the most important thing is just to wash your hands all the time, you know, after touching stuff, because you don't want to be getting them infected droplets on your fingers, then transferred to your face, which you're then soaking into your skin, or I guess, you know, transferred through your eyes or your mouth. You know, that's how you're getting infected out there. As far as I know. Yeah.
You know, got to be obviously very, very clean at the moment, and take it very seriously. Anybody that is in that part of the world, especially. Just one thing, Henry. It's related to you and Tottenham and everything that I saw yesterday. Bit of a joke. I mean, maybe you shouldn't make jokes out of stuff like this when people have actually been dying. But there was a so Christian Eriksen obviously signed for Inter Milan. There's a picture of him signed up with you know, like when I don't know who it is it the chief exec or the manager or whatever over at Inter? I have no idea.
It's not Conte.
It's not Conte. But some sort of I don't know who it was, but there was a photo of him signing up with an Asian fellow from Inter, and somebody's photoshopped a mask on Christian Eriksen's face. Oh my days! Come on, that was pretty good. We'll put an end to this little coronavirus talk then. Gungshi commented, foreign correspondent Henry Hotspur. I think you've done a good job of informing the Pig in the Head viewers about the coronavirus there. Anyway, let's get this show back on track then. It seems a little bit almost insulting to go from that topic to the next, but let's do it anyway. Here we go.
Pig and Hen's melter of the moment. The Pig and the Hen's melter of the moment. What's a melter?
It's time for the Pig and the Hen's melter of the moment. Henry, I'll let you go this week, mate. Who is your melter of the moment?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, my melter of the moment, and it's actually another melter of the moment from the same family. Okay, I mean, you know, I don't think this has happened. I think this is a first on the Pig and the Hen show where we're talking about one family, actual blood relatives, where one of them has been the melter of the moment, and now we have another one, and they even have the same title. Fortunately for them both, as far as I know, I don't know if either have been stripped or relinquished. But my melter of the moment is Prince Harry. Okay, he has taken on a wife. Okay, I have no problem with obviously Meghan Markle there. And bottom line, you know, they haven't been married very long. They've been the absolute mainstay of that bullshit media that I don't follow at all, because I don't really couldn't give twos about the royal family. I don't care. You know, I'm not interested in that. Who cares? Okay. But bottom line, he's been in the limelight with Meghan, and and it's just it's causing problems. I mean, why are people not happy? End of the day, all I'm seeing is meme after meme after meme of Harry under the thumb. Like, if anyone's under the thumb, if anyone says that I'm under the thumb, they send me a little picture of Harry and Meghan. I don't even understand it. It's like, what, you comparing me to a prince? No, Henry, no, you're just under the thumb, mate. You know what I mean? So, is this Meghan? Is this Harry? If it is Meghan, then yes, Harry's my melter of the moment, because as far as I know, he's actually said he does not want to be part of the royal family anymore. Is this Meghan talking? Is this the classic example of marrying the wrong woman potentially? She's in your ear, and it's like it is absolutely destroyed your family, destroyed your image in front of your friends and anybody that knows you. Potentially, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I actually am going to take a different stance on that. I think it's kind of cool that they've broken away from the royal family, mate. I'm not a royalist by any means, really, and to be fair, they've got a couple of questionable people within the royal family, especially these days with all sorts of stuff coming out. So, if I'm Prince Harry, maybe distancing yourself from the royals is not the worst thing you could do. Plus, maybe it's easy to say this, but he's always come across to me, out of all of the royals, I'm not his biggest fan, but I'm just saying he seems like one of the most down-to-earth sort of members of the royal family, Maybe it's just a generational thing, I don't know. But he strikes me as somebody that doesn't really want to be part of that whole crap Southernry stuff, And also, he's not even in line to be king, because his brother is obviously in line in the throne ahead of him. So, unless there's going to be some sort of Game of Thrones shit going on, it's like he might as well just chill out. Do you know what I mean?
If you listen to enough of this show, Game of Thrones shit is still going on.
Yeah, but fair play. If you think he's a melter, that's entirely up to you. It's what do you think of the Meghan then? You're not a fan of Meghan at all?
I don't really know. I've never seen Suits. I mean, I've got friends that swear by that series, think it's great. I mean, I don't know. She just looks a little bit too filth for a royal. You know what I mean? Like, what sort of princess is that? That's no princess. I mean, back in 1500 and something, like King Henry VIII, my namesake, he would have either been, he wouldn't have been marrying that. And if he had done, she'd get beheaded, wouldn't she?
Meghan of Merkel, mate, the seventh wife.
The fellow ginger, right? The fellow ginger of Harry. At the end of the day, Prince Harry is actually a Henry. So maybe he should have a read through them history books and take a page out of Henry VIII's book right there. You know what I mean? Henry didn't mess around with he did mess around. He got syphilis and everything. Right? He was awful.
Syphilis, gout, he was getting it all.
He wasn't marrying any of these, these dirty bitches. And if he was, they were losing heads. Simple as that.
Quality, yeah. You don't besmirch the good name of Henry VIII, mate, and get away with it. That is hilarious. Yeah, fair play. Good match at the moment there, Henry. I liked it. Let's get on to mine then. Mine's nowhere near as entertaining or as fun as that, and we've already talked about it anyway, so it sort of spoiled it.
I want to make Henry VIII my nutbag of note if I could, but he's not around anymore.
Well, he could be your nutbag of note, mate. You could just say.
I'm joking. Right. I am, just having a laugh. It's difficult with this coronavirus outbreak. I mean, any excuse just to have a laugh. I mean, forgive
It's true.
me.
You got to laugh, though. You got to keep laughing, mate. Keep smiling through it. But yeah, my melter of the moment, we've already talked about it. I'm just going to say it is those United fans that went and flared Ed Woodward's house, just because I think it's a bit out of order and it brings the fan base into sort of disrepute, and I just don't think it's very healthy. And by all means, protest. I've been saying walk out of games, don't turn up, stop buying merch, get your Woodward chants in and all that sort of stuff. But turning up at people's houses and attacking their properties is obviously not the way to do it, and it just makes the rest of the fan base think you're a bunch of tossers, and also makes the neutral fan base think that United fans are like this, and I think it does bring the United fan base into disrepute. So yeah, melters of the moment for this week are those people that went and attacked Woodward's house. I can understand why they do it, don't get me wrong. We're all frustrated about the ownership and the leadership of this football club at the top there. Woodward's your key man for some of the problems that United have been having, but there's ways of which to go about it, is what I'd say, and I just think they've melted there. They've melted.
I mean, I've come across this really poor joke today. I'm not even sure how it finishes, but let's just give it a go. So what do you call a man with a plank of wood on his head?
Edward.
Yeah. What do you call a man with 3 planks of wood on his head?
Edward Woodward.
What do you call a man with 4 planks of wood on his head?
Crikey. Edward Wood.
That's it. And then what do you call a man with 5 planks of wood on his head? Don't answer that. I'm just going to put that out to our fans out there. If you could come up with the best Ed Wood, do something, etc. After that, the best one might win a little prize. I don't know. The pig won't be happy with this, but if someone comes up with something brilliant, then they could win like a little pig in the hen mug or something.
We'll see. We've already got the fantasy football competition on the go, mate. Don't know about you. I'm freaking skint, mate. You're staying in 5-star resorts in freaking Macau. You take care of it then. You offer the prize with your freaking super chat earnings, mate.
No, but all we need to do, it doesn't matter how good the answer is. All we'll say is, it wasn't good enough to achieve the prize. That's all we need to say, pig. Oh, are we live? Yeah, we are. But that's what I was thinking.
No, fair play. JP comments, Edward Woodward the 5th. That's not that bad, is it? That's pretty decent, mate. Seeing as we're talking about Henry VIII and all this stuff.
Not bad.
The music fiend says, Edward Wood, there's fluoride in the water.
Your prize is, a bit of tap water from your tap right there, mate.
Oh dear. Hey, thank you to everybody who's joined us today. I can see the Primot's just got in here. It says, ahoy, pig and hen. Just got up. Better late than never. Thank you so much for getting in here and stopping by. Brandon Barron comments, United win tonight 3-0. We haven't even talked about it because, City versus United tonight. Yeah, City. We're playing Man City, mate.
Are you playing City?
Yeah, we're playing City. It's the second leg of the League Cup semi-final. We're 3-1 down from the first leg.
League Cup, I forgot about that competition. So sorry, it's the semi.
Semi-final, we lost the first leg to them 3-1, and now we've got to play them for the second. So we are still in it. I mean, we'd need to have a pretty flawless game of football to get the job done against City tonight. But yeah, technically we're still in the League Cup. If we win that game by more than 2 goals, we've got a chance, yeah.
It just goes to show what a Mickey Mouse league it is. And end of the day, I know I sing its praises because we won it. Tottenham won it back in 2008.
It's the only thing you've won in recent memory.
I go on about it. I basically pretty much mention it every Pig and the Hen show. I managed to mention it tonight. But, the fact is that we haven't even spoken about it, nor did I even know about it. It's just like, you know what I mean? Nobody cares. And it's the semi-final. It's like whoever is the victor of tonight's result is in the final of the competition, and we're already talking about it now.
I know, yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, it's just, I've almost sort of just accepted that United are going to be defeated in this game. Called it negative, whatnot, but they really outclassed us in the last fixture. We're 3-1 down. United's squad at the moment is just really lacking. I mean, look at City's depth that they've got in midfield, the likes of the Silvers and the De Bruynes
literally
of this world.
The Silvers.
Yeah, the Silvers, the De Bruynes. They've got some great players, and coming up against our team, obviously Aguero's back at the moment. I just don't feel that confident going up against them right now from 3-1 down. Hopefully it could be another PSG scenario like last season when we overturned that deficit and we made that famous comeback. But I just don't think it's going to happen. Obviously, I'm hoping it will. I'll be cheering the lads on later.
Is it the empty had?
It's at Old Trafford, I think, tonight, actually, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So
why haven't you got a chance then? 3-1 down. You need to get 3-1.
Of course, we've got a chance, but the squad qualities between the two is pretty apparent. I think that the difference in quality between the two sides is apparent. The way City dominate against us as well. I mean, we have obviously done reasonably well against them at times, but it's always on the counter. You know, we're lacking Rashford up there. He's obviously a big man for us. We don't have that creative player yet. Bruno Fernandes didn't come in at the start of the window. So, yeah, we're just going to struggle against them. They've got creative talents in abundance. The style of play, Guardiola, they obviously play great stuff. United are going to sit back, probably with 3 or 5 at the back, like we did the other day against Tranmere, play that system, and try and hit them on the counter. But you have to remember, City are 3-1 up. They can defend, they can keep on of, they can control the game. They don't have to go out and win the game. They can just set up to not lose. So I think that's why I think it's very difficult to get the ball off City at the best of times, and that's when they're trying to cut you open and score, and they probably will try and do that, of course, to get the job done, but at times they're going to be just sitting back controlling the game, I'd imagine, and I think United are really going to struggle against them tonight. I'm just accepting the fact that we're out. If we turn around the fixture and surprise ourselves, that's a great bonus. And what I would say to everybody tuning in right now, I don't want to see any Ollie outers because we lost to City tonight. The damage was done in the window. The damage is done with the squad, and it was done in the first fixture. So this one, it doesn't really mean that much. It could be nice to get in the final, but it's no surprise to lose to a more superior City side right now, is it?
Fair enough.
Okay then, so those are our melters of the moment. Let's get on then to the next bit of the show, which is the nutbag of note. 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 Nutbag of note then. This week's nutbag of note. I'll take the mantle on this one, Hen. And my nutbag of note, I think he definitely deserves a mention. We've not discussed it in the show. Is, of course, American basketball legend
I was just
going to
do this. I was just going to do this.
Well, I'm going to have to talk about it, so you can pop in a second.
Then. Go on,
well, it's both of our nutbags of note then, isn't it? But anyway, Kobe Bryant obviously passed away. I'm trying to give a nice tribute to Kobe Bryant here, mate. Show some respect, yeah? Anyway, Kobe Bryant, 41 years of age, passed away in a helicopter crash along with a bunch of other people, including his 13-year-old daughter also. Very sad in terms of the sporting world. He was a legend of his sport. Me personally, growing up in the 90s, I actually used to watch basketball quite a lot, but this is sort of before Kobe, really. The Kobe era, I haven't really watched that much basketball, a bit of the Dream Team here and there, the Olympics and all that sort of stuff. But even, me, obviously, back in the day, it was Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, all these guys. But the next generation after that is the Kobe Bryants of this world. And he certainly took the mantle from the likes of Jordan and ran with it and became a huge star and obviously was a tremendous player for the LA Lakers and achieved everything there is to achieve in the game. So from a sporting point of view, it's a big loss. I don't know much of the man, but just it is obviously a very sad situation. I think when somebody of that stature dies, it sends ripples throughout the sporting world. It's literally like the Messi of basketball, the Ronaldo of basketball. That's what Kobe Bryant is. So yeah, of course it's very sad, and he's achieved a heck of a lot in his life. But 41 years, I mean, you just never know, do you? One day you're there, the next moment you're gone, and I just feel very sad because his daughter's there, obviously as well, 13. Just really sad. I know people die every single day. There's 136 people that died of this coronavirus we're talking about, and those are all equally sad. But obviously he's a very well-known person within the sporting world of basketball, and he has touched a lot of people's lives in his time. So that's why I think he deserves the nutbag of note this week.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to reiterate what the pig said there. I mean, really, it's not nutbag of note. It's nutbag of a lifetime.
It's just a legend, isn't it? Legend of a sport, yeah.
And I don't think we've done this before. Every time we've done the nutbag of note, it's been someone that's doing well right now. Someone that's that we're thinking, you're doing a good job, or you've done something that's been of note over the last week or so. But this is completely different. I mean, we've actually lost someone that. I don't even know too much about this guy. I'm not a massive NBA fan. I respect the sport. I'm not saying I don't like basketball, but it just goes to show that Kobe Bryant has touched so many people worldwide, to the extent where my son, has been talking to me about it, saying, what's happened? What's happened to Kobe Bryant? My 9-year-old boy is telling me everybody at school talks about this guy as an absolute hero, along with the LeBron James and
LeBron. I've never heard it pronounced that way
LeBron
before,
James.
but...
Sorry, this is how much of
LeBron.
as someone that doesn't know much about basketball, but obviously the Michael Jordans of the past, and various other basketball players. But certainly Kobe Bryant. I mean, even to the extent where Jose Mourinho, when he first came to Tottenham, did a speech where and Jose doesn't often mention people of other sporting professions. But a couple of months ago, Jose came out and said, he tributed Kobe in terms of the type of man he is or was in his life, and the way that he applies himself professionally to what he does. And I can't say more than that in terms of end of the day, someone like Jose is actually going to another sport and picking out someone that there's nothing to do with football and saying, look at this person. That this is a special person we're talking about. The whole world has lost someone. We've really lost someone here, and it's a sad time. Of course it is. He is my absolute nutbag of the century right now. Of course he is.
It's just like one of those names that transcends the sport. There's different sports. You hear of people, American footballers, might not know anything about American football, but you hear like Dan Marino, you hear like Joe Namath or Brett Favre, and these names. I never watch American football, but I know these names. Joe Montana. I know these names because they're in there, because they're talked about. They're legends of the game. Kobe Bryant's definitely one of those. No, he's absolutely definitely one of those. LeBron James, modern era as well, and so people like I hear about the new era, like Carmelo Anthony and people like that. These are just names that I pluck out, but there's only a few of them in there. But he's one of them. He's absolutely one of them. So I think he does deserve a special mention there. And rest in peace, Kobe and his daughter and everybody else who died in that helicopter accident as well.
I think there's 7 people in total. So yeah, definitely rest in peace. I don't even know the ins and outs of it. Literally, I saw that he died. I didn't even want to click on it and read it, because for me, it's just so sad. Just to know that he's gone. And we lost. Obviously, we lost the Leicester City billionaire, the Thai billionaire owner that that did wonders for Leicester City there, and he died from a helicopter crash. Helicopters, mate, horrible machines, horrible things. I mean, I know that they're the choice of transport for many of these busy, successful people. Of course, they are. I completely understand that, but we're losing people.
They just fall out of the sky. That's the problem. If something goes wrong with a helicopter, it's just a complete lead ball, isn't it? It just falls out of the sky. At least a plane, you can glide it in and whatnot. I agree with that. Yeah. One thing actually a bit strange is I think this is accurate. I believe Kobe Bryant was passed away on the 26th of Jan in a helicopter accident, and Emiliano Sala, that player that was going to sign for Cardiff, passed away 1 year ago to the day on the 26th of Jan, 2019. So I believe that's true. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but it's just a bit of a strange coincidence, I thought. But yeah, rest in peace, Kobe. Anyway, and obviously everybody who's affected by that. I know he touched a lot of people, and all you had to do is go on social media and just scroll and see people, celebrities, but also just non-celebrities, people that we know are friends, posting and commenting about it and putting tributes on there. Literally the whole timeline on Instagram was completely taken up with Kobe Bryant stuff the day that happened. So his reach was massive. He was a David Beckham. He was a Messi. He was a Ronaldo. He was one of these sorts of global stars of his sport. So very sad.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact is, I do not, I'm not a basketball fan as such. I support the San Antonio Spurs simply for the fact that they're called the Spurs. Right? Simply for that fact.
Quite interesting, yeah.
And even I know who Kobe Bryant is, and I know his face. Do you know what I mean? You could not escape the man because he made such an impact on the world, and he's not one of these famous people that it's like, I don't want to be looking at this person because who are you really? I don't even like why you're famous. Kobe Bryant was the sort of person that was like, actually, you're cool. There was nothing like distasteful about the guy. He's just a fucking hero in his sport, and I respect that.
Yeah, I did see something like I don't know if you know Ari Shafir. He's like some comedian who goes on Joe Rogan's podcast sometimes. He's like a New York sort of Jewish comedian, and he posted some absolutely horrendous stuff after the news broke about. I mean, I don't even really want to talk about it, but just the fact that.
Well, you started now. Go
Well,
on.
yeah, I mean, he basically posted something like, "Oh, Kobe died 21 years too late," or whatever, and he's a scumbag for this sexual assault that he did on some women back in the
Really?
day, or something like
Bloody
that.
hell.
I know it's just like I haven't looked
okay.
into the case. I don't even want to look into the case, but he's not in prison. He's not, obviously, it's like. The man's died.
Whether that's true
His
or
daughter's
not,
died.
I mean,
you know what I mean? His daughter's
don't
not
come
done
out with
anything.
that.
Yeah,
I know. Don't come out with that
So
now.
I think
Do you know what
personally,
I mean? It's absolutely disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. I always
Who
thought
is
that guy
that?
was a little
Who's
bit of a
that
rat,
prick?
to be fair. He's a little bit of a rat, that guy, mate. And he's proven it with that sort of comment there. Hopefully Joe Rogan just washes his hands of him, but I'm pretty sure he'll
Well, I
probably
certainly hope
have
so.
him
It's
on to
completely
talk about
unnecessary.
it.
Whether there's any truth in that or not, it's not the right time to be coming out with that. Oh yeah, this famous person has just died and the whole world loves him. Do you know what? I'm just going to say this.
I know.
No.
No, well, apparently
No.
there's been
No
like
place
loads of
for it.
threats on his life. Like he shouldn't go to Los Angeles for a very long time because obviously Kobe Bryant's loved in LA, and if he goes there, he's probably going to get freaking stabbed or something, mate. And you can almost understand it because that's a heinous thing to say. I mean, I'm not going to get the quote up and read it. You guys can look into it yourself if you want. But I don't want to look into the whole sexual assault or rape allegations and this sort of thing because a man has died and you've got to be respectful of that. Do you know what I mean? And
Heinous. I
in
mean,
fact,
I've never
Ari
even
Shafir
really
should
used
have
that
been
word, but that's
Ari
that's the
Shafir
right
should have
word.
been my melter of the moment, to be fair, mate, because that is just a complete melt job. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, who was your melter at the moment?
It was the Woodward attackers, wasn't it? Those melters.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, who you got to choose one now? Are you gonna go back on that?
I'm gonna. Oh no, I'm not gonna go back on it. I'll just say Ari Shafir is obviously a piece of shit, but the Woodward attackers are my true melter of the moment this week. Yeah.
Okay.
It's more effective to United and stuff. But okay then. So we've got one more segment left before we get into the call-ins. Have you got time for call-ins, Hotspur?
Yeah, of course
Great,
I have. Yeah.
great, fantastic. So let's get on to the next segment then. Thanks to everybody stopping by. There's about 150 of you legends tuned in right now. So thanks for being here. Please do the pig and the hen a cheeky little favour and smash a like on it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, all that good stuff, and do get involved in the comment section and stuff as we go along. Great community we've built up here, all the same usual legends. But if you're not a usual legend, if you're new as well, get involved here. I can see Salma Timami commenting. Shout out to you as well. Archie, Stjana Kilda, shout out to you lads and lasses. Thanks for being here with us on the Pig and the Hen show today. So here we go then. Let's get on with the next cheeky little segment. Close encounters of the third kind. Over to you, Hotspur.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not really a conspiracy. I mean, I'll reiterate again that the name of this segment is Encounters of the Turd Kind, okay? And to be honest, they're not always turd. Sometimes they're actually real, okay? That's just the name of the segment before we get any backlash from that. And again, it's not always going to be a conspiracy, but sometimes it's just something that I think that the world needs to know, okay? And in this case, I'm not even pushing any blame on anyone. I'm not trying to, smear anyone or anything. But this is just factual stuff that I think people need to know. And I'm just trying to spread a message. Okay, so of course, it's going to be to do with the Wuhan coronavirus. This has been widely reported. I can't say categorically that this is true, but word has it that the testing kits that are used to actually test people, the hospital staff in Wuhan or across the country for that matter, the kits that they use to ascertain whether patients have actually contracted the virus or not, they're limited, or they're either being possibly withheld, which I don't think is the case, but I just don't think that they have enough of these kits that to be able to know if people are infected or not. And if that's the case, I mean, that there's rumors out there that there's only 10% of what's necessary. So if that's the case, you could do the maths yourself. End of the day, there's around 6,000, should we say, confirmed infected. End of the day, the suspected infected is higher than that. The possible infected is a hell of a lot higher than that. But if you're looking at 10% of available kits, then the 90% of people that they could have tested that you know, probably or you know, possibly have the virus, could be seriously more. And at the end of the day, we could seriously be looking at, and I'm not joking, this isn't some conspiracy bullshit, we could be looking at tens of thousands of infected already within mainland China, especially in the Wuhan area. This is why it's so important right now that we lock down this virus. I'm sick of hearing people comparing it to regular flu, saying that, you know, it's all been blown out of proportion. Even if it has been blown out of proportion, who cares? You know, let's take the right precautions. And end of the day, if we're looking at tens of thousands of people infected right now, and we're looking at an incubation period where you are contagious and you don't even know, right? You don't even know that you're contagious for up to 14 days. You're continuously spreading this virus out there. If we're looking at within 2 weeks, this is more than SARS. It's more than SARS, not fatality-wise, not death-wise, but it's more than SARS in terms of official infected, okay? We could be looking at an absolute global epidemic if we do not get, or pandemic, if we do not get on top of this right now. And there's other people out there that are saying we are already looking at tens of thousands of infected. In 2 weeks' time, we could be looking at hundreds of thousands. We need to avoid it getting to the millions.
I totally agree, mate. I mean, I think precautions need to be taken absolutely. Eric012 comments, I live in Hong Kong and it's being treated with extreme seriousness, and it should be. So, yeah, fully agree, Hen. Like, we've obviously discussed it quite a lot earlier in the show. But an outbreak like that, it's very serious. It's affected and infected a lot of people already. It's killed a lot of people already. We've all got loved ones. You know, we don't want this to be some sort of a global killer, which it could easily be, especially affecting the elderly and stuff like that. You know, it's very serious. Like you said, there's lots of other viral diseases and flus and things like this that do kill people anyway. So it's just part of the, you know, part of the regular issues that are with viruses. But yeah, we need to try and work on a cure, control the spread of it. Absolutely, Henry, 100% agree. We've butchered that topic anyway, didn't we? Because we smashed it out earlier on in regards to it. So we'll leave that one there. But there's the close encounter. Unless you've got someone else to add about it or another encounter.
No, I think that's it. I mean, I'd really like tonight. You know, I'm looking forward to this call-in section actually, because it'd be nice to hear your thoughts. I mean, if you've got anything to say about the coronavirus, please do call in about it. Obviously, if you want to talk about footballing matters, more than welcome as always. I'm gonna make Guangzhou rain one more time. Gunshi understands exactly what I mean by that. And then
yeah, I understand what you mean now, to be fair, but it's just a bit of a strange way of putting it. Just say you're going for a piss, mate. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You've got to stop licking toilet seats as well, Hen. Now this disease is out there, mate. Right, okay, thank you everybody for joining in. So Henry's having a bit of a wee. In a few minutes we'll get onto the call-ins for the show. So if you've got anything you want to discuss, want to talk about, that we've discussed in the show, or anything on your mind, do get in and call into the show. I'll just read out a few comments here. Honestly, thanks to everybody that's tuned. It's been a great show today. The chat has been popping off in the show here. Lots of you tuned in and also getting involved in the live chat. Thanks for talking amongst yourselves and getting involved and piping up. Obviously, we'd love to read out everybody's comment that does get involved, but when there's a bunch coming through like this, and obviously we're trying to hold a conversation, me and Henry, I'm certainly no good at multitasking, but I do try and pop on there when I can and read a bunch out. But let's do that now while Henry's watering the plant, so to speak. JP comments, can we send Lingard to Wuhan for a holiday? Little bit extreme there, my friend. But I see the sentiment behind it. Comment here from, let's have a look here. Shout out to Yorgo M, by the way, who's subscribed. Thank you very much for getting in here, top man. Stjerna Kilda says, LOL Pig, it is what it is. Brandon Barron says, if they just lose 3 games, then it will go out their hands. I guess you're talking about United, are you? Certainly we need to get on the winning vein at the moment, and we need to sign a couple of players, in my opinion. Debbie Elder comments, Pig, where are you from? Thanks for commenting, Debbie. I am from the south coast of England, in a little county called Dorsetshire, or Dorset is what it's actually called. But yeah, that's where I'm from. If you wonder why I'm a United fan, my parents are, big United fans. They're from up that way, and I'm just born into a United family. But either way, you don't need to justify why you're a United fan. You could be from, Lagos, Nigeria, or whatever, and be a United fan and have a passion and a love for United, because football has the ability to touch people, you see. And if you fell in love with a certain team at a certain point for whatever reason, for Henry, you see, it was the 2008 League Cup final victory for Spurs. Winner by Jonathan Woodgate. For me personally, it's just growing up with United. But a lot of people do get into football just simply because they follow a team. Maybe they just pick a team. Maybe someone picks a team for them. That there's lots of ways to get into it. So there you go.
That happened to me actually. That is the reason that I followed Tottenham pre 2008. Is when I was a very young lad. I had a friend down the road. He basically said that you're going to support this team or you're not my friend. That sort of literally happened. And he was a bit 3 years older than me, a few years older than me. It was like, okay, all right, I'll support that team then. That was simply it. And I went to school as a young lad, and I knew that we had someone that played for Tottenham called Canute. If someone asked, what do you know about Tottenham? Oh, we got someone called Canute. And I was kind of like one of them kids, just didn't really know shit, Yeah,
because you didn't play football much as a kid, did you?
I didn't. I wish I could go back.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back and play football. If I love football like I do now.
You played football with me. We played five-a-side in tournaments and stuff. But I mean, as a child, it wasn't really... You're more into Magic the Gathering and shit like that, yeah? There's nothing wrong with that, Hen, okay?
No, I wasn't into Magic the Gathering before Tottenham Hotspur. That was sort of at the same sort of time, actually.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Fine. That's fine, mate.
Yeah, because that's quite an adult game, actually. Before you sit there and laugh your tits off.
Fair play. A lot of people like it, mate. What can I say? Who am I to judge? We all like our own separate things. I was into Pokemon as a 12-year-old, mate, as well,
I'll tell you what, if Ed Woodward had a good Magic the Gathering deck, I bet you he'd be a hell of a lot better at his job. I bet you he would.
No doubt in that one, my friend. Hang on, let me just get rid of this spammer here. Right.
Oh, is he saying some shit?
No. It's just a link to some dodgy website. I don't know. But anyway, hey, look, thanks for stopping by. Please do get your calls in then. Apparently we've reached 102 likes, the Saint says, so that's actually pretty damn good for the live show. We've already smashed 102.
That's that Sheffield United fan with the Southampton name.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you about, mate? With the red and white stripes. It's very much loving the hybrid kind of, namesake there.
Well, I think maybe he just loves Roger Moore, do you know what I mean? The Saint. Do you remember that shit? You probably don't, mate. For some reason,
I know who Roger Moore is.
Yeah, you know who Roger Moore is, but the Saint is like one of his most iconic characters. It was a TV role, mate.
Oh, so is that what the Saint's about then? Is it some Sheffield United Roger Moore fan?
Yeah, the Saint's about some Sheffield United fan.
You painted him with that brush right there, yeah.
Hey, thank you, Rincon, for drumming up the support in here too. He says, like the video. Thank you so much. Mark Sin comments, Rincon ringing first. Mark Sin says he's going to call in too. Just whoever wants to call in first, just get in.
Mark Sin, have you got a quiz ready? Basically, me and the Pig, we've been discussing this pre-show today in terms of turning this into a new segment. Okay, and we've got some great ideas, but I think we're going to speak to Sin in private if we can, if you can, Pig, in terms of some of our ideas, so we could come up with a section if it's going to happen. If it's going to happen.
Well, we could just run by a couple of the names with him today, to be fair, when he does call in, do you know what I mean? If he regularly wants to do it, then yeah, I thought that was a great segment last week.
It's a bit of a commitment, though, isn't it, Mark? It's a bit of a commitment. You have to come up with questions. You can't just ring in and say, I don't really have any questions. I'm just going to think of just random general knowledge questions off the top of my head. Fuck it. Well, you could do.
Thing is, you don't need that many, you know what I mean? Just like last time you had 2 rounds, it was fine. And the guest fight, these 5 things, it was quite decent. And it also made Henry look a little bit humiliated, so that was quite good.
Well, shut your mouth, Pig.
Well, you should have got Jimmy Greaves. You should have got Greavesy. Come on.
Yeah, I should do, but I'm a drinker. You know what I mean? Of course I should have got Greavesy, but it escaped my mind.
Yeah, no,
you know
fair play.
You know.
Fair play. I missed out on a couple as well, to be fair. But yes, do get involved.
But yeah, Mark's in. Don't make it difficult, kid. Don't make it too Tottenham Hotspur related. Don't make me look like a mug, mate, or I won't be your friend anymore. Okay.
Well, you can tell him yourself because here he is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Mark Sin. How's it going, Mark?
I thought he was
All
on
good, my
second.
friend?
He's supposed to be on second.
I don't know. We didn't get a call from Rinks, so but calls in. Obviously, well, when this call finishes, Rincon can call in. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing, mate? Can you hear us?
I'm trying to.
We can
Hello?
yeah, we can hear you, mate. How's it going, Mark? All right. Hello.
That's better. Is that better?
You can hear us, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's just trying to put on the loudspeaker.
Rincon, I can see you're calling in right now, my friend. Just hang loose. Obviously, Mark's in just called in. We'll do this segment, and then we'll be great to hear from you too. But yeah, we had a mare there then. But Rincon's got a picture with Mason Greenwood there on his Skype thing. That's awesome. Rincon stood next to Mason Greenwood, so fair play to him.
Really?
What are they actually touching cocks or something?
Mate, I don't know if Mason Greenwood was underage at the time of saying that. Bit of an inappropriate comment, Hen.
What? You got to get this picture up now. You're worrying me.
Well, you'll see it when he joins the conversation. To be fair, so there you go.
Oh, will I? No, but I'm not seeing Mark Sin's picture, so I probably won't.
Okay then. Well, I don't know then, but
Yeah, I've not set one. I'll set one for you. Mate.
Please do. I don't want any touching cocks one either.
What are you two like, mate? We've got a kid to do, you know that?
There's always some sort of homoeroticism going on, isn't there? I don't know why. We're both, Henry's happily married. I've got my missus, but it's just a bit of bants.
You don't have to defend anything. You're making this our
incriminating.
You're just the right amount wrong, you two, aren't you? Just the right amount.
But anyway, yeah, thank you for calling in, Mark. You had a good week, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Certainly reflecting on last week's show. It's really weird listening back to yourself, and I do sound like a right twat sometimes when I'm listening.
You said it.
There's not the content wise. This is just my voice. When you listen to your own voice, it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, how do you think how we feel? Yeah, you always sound different, don't you?
Yeah.
When you remember the first time I heard myself a recording of myself, I thought that literally isn't me. I must be deaf.
I listened to myself, and I just kept saying obviously, and it's just pissing me off now. So I'm gonna say every time if I say obviously in the future, I'm gonna donate £1 to the Pig and Hen show.
Yeah.
Well, you just said it then, mate. So there's one.
Keep saying that, mate. There we go. Keep saying it. But I'll tell you what, Mark. Obviously, your voice can't be that annoying because me and the Pig, we have been in discussion this week about creating a new segment, especially for yourself, Mr. Mark Sin, in terms of, this quiz, because we enjoyed it. It was out of the blue. We weren't expecting it last week. And I think the listeners out there, the viewers, would love a segment where, me and Pig are put to the sword, in terms of a little quiz, questions, segment. I mean, how do you feel about that, Mark?
Me, I'm
putting that to you now. He's up for it. He's up for it.
I love pub quizzes anyway, and so that's partly why I came up with it, to see who is the better at the football knowledge. I'd suppose.
So we have to come up with a name and a theme tune. Like Henry was shooting all sorts. He basically put a lot of thought into this, Mark. Like Henry was firing names at me. Share some of the names you'd come up with, because some of them are pretty good.
Okay, well, I mean, the thing is, it's not all about the names. It's very important to consider what the theme tune would be. Okay, so I was thinking of just, classic UK based, because obviously I'm from the UK, in terms of television quiz shows. So, I grew up with The Weakest Link. So I was thinking change The Weakest Link to The Weakest Chin. It's got a bit of a boxing relevance there. and obviously, and also did you? Obviously it rhymes with your surname there, Sin. So I was thinking The Weakest Chin.
That's not the best.
With
That's
Mark
one of the worst
Sin.
ones, mate. Why even mention that one?
I thought that was good. I quite like that one. I thought that was good. Okay, we had instead of a question of sport, think of the theme tune. It comes on. We have a question of sin. Okay, You know, think of Chaser. Theme tune comes on, but you know, it's there's someone on the Chaser called the Sinner.
The
Is
Sinner
that
Man,
right,
yeah.
or something?
Yeah,
The Sinner Man. Okay, and obviously because we've got the Game of Thrones theme running through the show, beginning and end in general. I was thinking, obviously, your name's Mark, so we could have like Eddard Mark instead of Stark, and just a general. I think the most powerful message, the most powerful piece would be, you know, instead of winter is coming, it's Cinta is coming. You know, we record that at the end of a theme of one of the other things I was talking about. We could be onto something special here, Mark. What do you think about that?
You put a lot of thought into this, Henry.
I
really
really
has.
have. I have. I was in the shower, mouthing off to myself about it. I was.
How long were you in the shower for?
Yeah, a good 50 minutes or so.
Wasn't the only thing he did in the shower, to be fair.
Oh yeah, Cinta is coming.
Henry, you missed the last watch along. Literally, last 20 minutes, we were just talking about movies. The Tranmere game.
Oh, were you really?
God.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's how bad.
Well, no, we were
was,
smashing them
wasn't it?
6-1, so the job was a good one, really, and which I just sort of took my eyes off the prize. That was initiated entirely by Mark Sin, just started talking about films, and then that's all we did for the last part of the watch along, pretty much.
Well, no, I'm not.
But made a nice
To be honest,
change, made a
right.
nice change.
We do appreciate the interaction that you give to the people in the chat. You know, that's the difference between you and the other channels. I mean,
Yeah, that is true. They don't.
There was a lot of interaction, you know, between yourselves, and we do like it.
I appreciate that, Mark. And I did
Well,
actually
this
go
is
on
it. I
the
mean, I
United
don't-
stand the other day just to have a little peruse, and they had a graphic on their thing which said, you know, if you want to have a comment read out, then send it a super chat, which is sort of a bit like you can't really, you know, you can't really say that, can you? You know, it's a bit money grabbing.
I think that's where we're going wrong, Pig, isn't it? Really?
Well, maybe,
we need to
yeah.
have a chat after the show.
Of course, we appreciate all the people that do send them in, but I mean, you know, I'm not just going to read out super chat comments. Like, if somebody, like, for instance, Walid Gamuhian, who's commenting right now, he's not a channel member, he's not sent a super chat, but there's a shout out for your son, because that's how it should be.
But what's he said though? Has he said anything of note?
Okay, yeah, okay. He said quick question.
Or is he a melter?
He said, quick question. If Bruno Fernandes joins Man United, will he be eligible to play for us in the Europa League due to the fact that he was playing in the competition with Sporting this season? Very good question. I mean,
It's like a quiz question,
how
isn't
it
it?
used,
Mark,
well, how it
you know,
used to
take
work.
notes.
How it used to work, that was definitely the case. Like, if you'd had signed a player that played in the Champions League and you were playing in the Champions League, you signed him in January, he is cup tied. So maybe, but maybe not. I don't know how it works with the Europa and the rules these days. So sorry, I can't answer your question
I
there,
think
my
take
friend.
your question elsewhere. It's super chat next time, yeah?
Oh dear. Right. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for calling in, Mark. And yeah, we're very happy that you want to do. We want to call in whenever you're
do
free.
you have a
and do
quiz
this.
though, Mark? Do you have a
I
quiz,
do.
Mark?
Let's move on.
Yes,
To that.
here we go. Here we go.
Yes, I do.
Honestly, we will get the theme and the catchphrase ready for next week. I mean, I've given you some samples there. You need to communicate with the Pig. Let us know what you
Right,
fancy. What do you like? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to ask the Pig when the next Arsenal versus Man United. I'm going to invite myself down to do a watch along with him. See if he's up for that.
I mean, yeah, probably not going to happen, Mark. But you know, maybe. I mean, we'll
Bit
see.
creepy.
We'll see. I mean, it's
I'm
a bit,
so
it's a
glad
bit,
I'm
it's a
in
bit
a
early doors in our
virus-affected
relationship.
country, like half the way around the world right now.
It's a bit
Mark,
early
you
doors
guys
in
are
our
coming out to
relationship,
China,
Mark.
yeah?
But potentially, let's see how the segment goes from now on, eh?
Yeah.
Hang on, I think we're going for a tunnel. We're going for a tunnel. No, I'm joking. But no, one day, Mark. Absolutely, I'd love to get more people on it. I think no,
One
honestly,
day.
I think that's one thing that I need to do on the channel is have like, you know, like proper watch-alongs with multiple people. That I think that is awesome. We tried it with like me and Rincon and Henry once, but obviously not being in the same room, not watching the games at the same time and stuff, it didn't really work. But if people in the same room, absolutely. I'm not going to rule it out, Mark. Forgive me if I don't commit to it right now.
No, I'm joking, mate.
Top man.
No, honestly, Mark, one secret, Pig's a bit of a prick, honestly.
No, I'm not. But obviously, there is. Mark Sin seems like a very lovely man, but for all I know, he's got people's heads in his cupboard at home and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I mean, his name is Mark Sin after all. It sounds a bit sinister.
It is Mark Sinister.
Right.
Mark Shaken, not sinister.
Move on to the quiz then.
Let's move on to the quiz. You might have to do your own theme tune again.
All right. It's time for the pig and hen quiz. Pig and hen quiz. Pig and hen quiz.
That is preliminary theme right there for this.
Yeah, I'll just steal that idea. I believe it's 1-0, isn't it? It was 1-0 to the pig at the moment in the series.
Absolutely. I think I ruined him last week, to be fair, Mark. Like, he embarrassed himself with that old Jimmy Green situation.
I'm going to open a beer, mate. I'm going to open a beer at 3.3% piss.
Right, who is up first then?
I think Henry should go first this week, seeing as I went first on both of them last week.
All right, Henry, you're first. Would you like a set of questions of 1 or 2?
1.
1, okay. Question 1 to you, Henry. Can you name teams ending with athletic in them? There are a selection within the Football League, so crack on.
Okay, Athletic Bilbao?
No, as in the suffix.
English Football League, yeah?
Oh, okay, like Charlton Athletic.
1. Okay.
Okay. Bloody hell. Okay, sorry. So this is English teams only, yeah?
English
like in terms of the whole Football League,
yeah,
with Athletic as its final.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Charlton. Athletic. Oldham.
Yep. That's 2. Got another about.
It's quite difficult, this one. It is a difficult one.
Oh, wait.
How many is there, Mark? Are we allowed to know how many there is?
I can't have AFC Bournemouth as in Athletic Football Club Bournemouth. I can't have that.
I don't think Bournemouth are athletic, are they?
AFC Bournemouth? Yeah.
Doesn't that stand for Association Football Club, though?
Oh, does it? Oh,
shit. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't actually know.
I'm not sure, mate.
I'm gonna make a rule. That's 2. That's 2 you got in the minute.
Athletic. So yeah,
no, that's it. He's ruled you out, mate. He said you just got 2. And you're done. You're done.
You're done,
mate.
Okay.
How many was there, Mark?
There's Wigan Athletic. You missed.
Oh shit! I should have got that. To be fair, Mark, you're pissing me off right now.
And I believe that's it.
Well, you did pretty well. You got 66.6%.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck you guys. Fuck you.
Oh God.
This week, Pig, you have Rovers. Same.
Oh no.
Name the teams with Rovers in their suffix.
Rovers. Blackburn.
Yep.
Tranmere.
Yep.
Oh.
Come on, Pig. I know it as well.
Do ya? Rovers. Oh, why can't I think?
This is a great quiz. This is great.
This is a good
Mark.
one, yeah.
You're doing well with this.
Oh, just put me on the spot. Bristol. Oh, Bristol Rovers.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, Pig.
Hang on. I don't know if Mark had given me the full minute there, though, mate.
Oh no, because did you not hear the countdown?
I heard the countdown, but I don't know if it was your place to say it's the end of the segment, mate.
Oh yes,
not happy
it was.
With that.
As soon as
not
Mark comes in with
I want Judge Rules there, mate. I want Judge Rules.
I can come in.
Oh,
he wouldn't have. Of course he wouldn't have.
Fair enough. It seems like we tied on that one, right?
Yeah. There was also Doncaster.
Oh, yes. The Saints commented there as well.
Oh,
and also Craig said Forest Green Rovers. So, yeah.
There's a few non-league, I think.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
You had the easier question, didn't you? There's more Rovers there than Athletics.
Well,
he was talking about league. Yeah.
It was...
Yeah, all right.
Right.
Good question, though, Mark. Very difficult when you're on the spot. Yeah, I should have got that there. Yeah.
Part 2.
It is hard when you're on the spot. Yeah.
numbers round. Doesn't matter.
Bloody hell.
Go first. Can you name what is the capacity of Old Trafford to the nearest 1,000? Oh my God!
I love this. I love this.
78,000.
Okay, Spurs for you. Spurs new ground.
62,000.
Henry's got it spot on.
Yes.
That's because it's just been built and it's always been in the news.
But you should know Old Trafford.
White Hart Lane, 36,000.
I should know Old Trafford. Are you going to tell me I'm way off then? Because it's definitely around that.
For Old Trafford, mate. So you're not bad, but you should know that. Come on.
I'm dyslexic with numbers, mate. That's what I meant. 76,000. That's what I meant.
Right. So Henry's got a point for that.
Yes.
United's revenue in pounds for 2019, the fiscal year. The revenue.
What sort of
we should have a bit of
question
multiple
is that?
choice. We need, honestly, Mark. I mean, to be fair, we need a little bit of multiple choice. I reckon. Sorry, Pig is sweating here.
No, look, I honestly don't know. I mean, I would guess it's a lot, but I'm gonna say the actual revenue's about 500 million.
Okay, Henry, in terms of millions, go in millions. Pig, help you.
Okay, 500 million.
Okay, Spurs revenue for last year.
Bloody hell! I mean, without multiple choice, that is difficult. Millions in terms of revenue for Tottenham Hotspur for what 2019 to the end of 2019. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
All right, I'm going to go with 350 million.
Not bad, mate. It's 380.
Yeah, I knew it was around that. Because I read my stuff. I know my stuff. Don't I, Mark?
Oh, ours must have been a lot more then. I must have been quite far off, to be fair, because we must have made at least what double Spurs made, right?
Spurs are the most gain in any club, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
check
of
them
course
out.
we are. Yeah.
Well, this year,
Highest climbers.
I knew that.
Top six. So that's two to Henry.
This is absolutely piss poor. Do you know? So hang on, what was United's? What was United's?
It's definitely going to make this a proper segment.
Yeah.
What was United's revenue?
603.
Oh, it wasn't that far off then, really. Do you know what I mean? That's a difficult question. I mean, I'm not really a financial man, to be honest with you, Mark. I don't really look into the inner workings of the football club. Maybe I should.
You do have Ed Woodward there.
Exactly. I leave it all up to Ed. He seems to know what he's doing.
Don't trust a man with a hat on.
I know Henry's won this round, but what year was United founded, Big?
Oh my God, I should absolutely get this, but it's just one of those brain fart moments, mate. Oh God. Newton Heath, yeah? So Newton Heath, the founding of Newton Heath you're on about, yeah?
Well, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's go for... Oh no, I should absolutely know this, mate. This is absolutely shocking. You've done me here, Mark. 18...
What? Yeah.
Mark hasn't done you. I've done you, mate.
1886.
No.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Spurs for Henry.
Tottenham Hotspur. We'll go with 1894.
No, I don't know who's closer. 1878 for Newton Heath, Manchester. So wasn't too far. And Spurs
then, yeah.
Yes, and 1882 for Spurs.
That's 12 yees off.
It's one of those things that I should know, I absolutely should know.
I should know that. I knew it was pre-19th century or whatever, but do you know what I mean?
And
but what were the teams there then? That was just the beginning. I mean, it wasn't even proper football back then, was it really?
No, we've had mayors there, but I can't believe Henry's actually beat me on the quiz round this week. I'm really not happy with that, Mark, at all.
But this is why we need to have a proper theme tune. I mean, Mark, we're gonna get this nailed on by next week. We're not gonna have you doing your own silly little pig in the head quiz show. Fuck that. We're gonna have a proper theme ready. Of course.
And maybe we should have a series of questions as well, so it gives the other person a chance to come back and win.
Well, Pig, I've got the tiebreaker lightning round.
Brilliant. Let's do that. Let's just pretend. Pretend we drew Henry. Put it all on the line. Double or nothing, mate.
Don't be stupid. No, I've won. This is just for the sake of it.
But for fun.
This is for fun, for the sake of it. Go on then.
But I need, because it's such a high budget show, I need to hear your buzzers, mate.
Okay, mine's
Oink.
yeah, mine'll be oink.
And mine's book.
Okay. Let me see who's gonna score more.
But
Okay,
no
then.
answering, Henry. When the other person
person
oinks,
buzzing.
there's no answering from you until the other person's answered if they've oinked or
Well,
oinked
I know that,
first.
mate. Who do you think I am, Brett?
So if you get it wrong, it can go to the other person. Yeah. Okay. First one to buzz in, and make sure you let me choose the person answering it.
Great.
So-
Good call.
Listen up. So which club plays their home grounds at Craven Cottage?
Oink.
Henry.
What? That wasn't Henry.
Henry got in there first, I think.
What? He literally was going to say. He
I
was going to
did.
say
I
he was going to
definitely
say the
did. I
answer.
heard-
He didn't buck. He
I
started
heard
to say the
myself
answer.
before you. I heard myself before you. I said book, and then I said the
Oh.
answer because I thought that was,
What does
you know,
Jack think?
because I
What
was
does
in
Jack-
there.
I think
You
that's
got enough
controversial, but fair enough.
Go on, Henry. Who plays at Craven Cottage?
Craven Cottage is Fulham.
Correct.
Controversial there. I think on the listen back, Mark, you'll realise you've mugged the pig off there. To be fair.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Mark, you're doing a great job. Don't listen to the pig. You know.
Almost doesn't work.
just
It
let him
almost
win
doesn't
one.
work with
Let him
buzzers
win
though
one.
and time
Let him
delays.
forgive you.
You almost need to just have one question.
Oh, here we go.
One
Here
question.
we go.
It's
The
true though.
excuses come
It's
out.
true though.
Listen to it. Take your hat off. Chill out.
Which team won the Premier League in 2013 and 14?
Oink.
Pig.
Man City.
Correct. 1-0. 1-0 in the tiebreaker. Question 3. Which team are nicknamed the Owls?
Oink.
Pig.
Oldham Athletic.
No.
Huh?
Over to Henry.
Sheffield
Oh
Wednesday.
no, it's Sheffield
Correct.
Wednesday as well.
Yes!
I've had mares.
Yes! That was so good. I
Shit.
feel so good.
Mate.
You know they have an owl on there.
Yeah, I know. I've had a total. I knew that. It's just one of
That
those.
feels so good. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you got me there with the
Oh.
Wednesday. Yeah, fair play. I should. I
2-1
knew
to
that. I
Henry.
knew that.
They're still in the FA Cup as well. Fair play to those Owls.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Next question. Which year was the passback rule implemented?
The what rule?
Passback.
Oink. 1970.
What?
I don't know. I have no idea with the pass back
No.
rule.
I don't even know what that rule is.
You know where?
2000
You're not allowed to pass it back
2013.
to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You had to pick it up. Obviously, you can't anymore. So, guess a year. Henry, you gonna guess?
I already said 2013.
That's not
Yes.
right, but-
1992. 1992.
Okay.
1992. Oh,
Fair
okay. Well,
play.
that was just a wee nipper.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I've always known there's been no
Thank
pass
you
back
for
rules.
educating. Thank you for educating me.
Right, you'll know this one, you guys. So first one in, yeah. Which goalkeeper has the record of 138 clean sheets for the same Premier League team? Henry?
Is it Banks?
No, didn't play in the Premier League, did he? Okay, it's over to me then. So if I had to guess, 100 for the
That's
for
a
the
hell of a
same
lot of
Premier
clean
League
sheets.
team, let's just go.
Not consecutive.
No.
Yeah,
Okay, let's go.
he holds the record.
Oh man, let's go Petr Cech.
Yes.
Come on,
correct.
get in there.
Oh, bloody hell.
Two
But for
all,
which
2-2.
team?
Chelsea, I'd
But
imagine.
for which
Chelsea.
team?
Yeah,
Hmm.
correct. 2-2 in the tiebreaker. Not many left. Right, this one. Poise yourself for this one. Sir Alex Ferguson's last game in charge for United ended in 5-5. But who did they play?
Oink. West Bromwich
Pig,
Albion.
pig. Yeah.
See, that's a little bit
It's a little
unfair,
bit
isn't it? You know, with the United questions, that is bullshit, isn't it?
But next question then. Who was Spurs manager when they lifted the FA Cup?
Oink.
What? Pig.
George Graham. I
Right.
didn't even listen to the year, did I? I had a mare.
So Henry,
Oh.
over to you. Which Spurs manager lifted the FA Cup in 1991?
1991.
And you said it was unfair, so...
Oh, bloody hell. This is difficult for me, though, because I just don't know Spurs history. I don't. Did we win the FA Cup in 91?
That worries me, sir, that you don't know that. Yes, you did. It worries
I didn't know that. No, honestly, I did not know that. I thought we hadn't won anything for longer than that, honestly. So 91. Like what?
Oh dear.
I don't know, mate. Glenn Hoddle?
No, Terry
He
Venables.
was playing back then, wasn't he?
Terry Venables, fair play.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell, that is bad, isn't it? You know,
We've both
I hang
had
my
some
head in
mares today,
shame.
mate. To be fair, we have.
I hang my head in
Yeah.
shame. But I am, to be honest though, I have never pretended that I'm some kind of Tottenham Hotspur expert. I know most of the Spurs stuff 2008 onwards, and I've always said that.
Fair play. There's a little thing called history.
Well-
History you might want to look up though.
All right, there's 2 more. 3-2 to Pig. There's 2 more questions, and that's it, and we're done. What number shirt did Thierry Henry wear at Arsenal? Henry?
He wore the number 9 shirt.
No.
I think it was 11.
No.
Shit.
14. 14's the answer.
Fair enough. Good question, that one.
Rudwood got that.
Should have perhaps got it, but obviously, yeah, it's a tough one.
So, 3
I hate
to
these
Pig.
Spurs or United questions, isn't it? That's when it hurts, isn't it? At least when it's just general. Like, I loved that Sheffield Wednesday question. That was brilliant.
No, Pig should have got that. I mean,
I really should have got that. You know, I was trying to answer too quickly and be cool there, Adam Air.
I know. Finally, last question to tie it up, Henry. If you get this, which country won the Euros in 2016? Henry.
Oh.
The country that won the Euros in 2016
Last.
was Germany.
No. Pig.
Portugal.
4-2.
Oh shit! Of course it was.
Come on,
Of
get
course
in
it
there.
was.
Get in there, my
Bloody
son.
hell, of course it was.
I won
was
the
thinking
lightning round
Portugal.
anyway.
I was thinking Portugal, and then I thought, no, actually, they lost in the final, but they didn't.
Ronaldo got injured in the final, didn't he? And then they managed to hold on and win. Yeah, fair play.
Had a melt to a moment there, didn't they?
I melted. I did melt in the end. But the thing is, this was the tiebreaker that was never supposed to happen. I
No,
won
but
this.
So it's 1-all. It's 1-all in the series, mate. 1-all.
Yeah, it's 1-all.
I got the moral
I
victory.
won this.
there.
I won
got
this.
the moral victory because at the start there was a
The moral
controversy.
high ground. No,
Like,
you
well, yeah,
don't.
because the Fulham question that was
don't.
just a free answer for you, Hen. Like, because I actually had buzzed
No,
first.
it wasn't. Listen
I'd
back
actually
to the
buzzed
show
first.
like
Well, we
you
will listen
suggested.
back to it.
No, you
Let the
didn't,
people in
mate.
the
I
chat
said
decide.
It. I said it
we need
before I
video.
heard you
We
say
need a video
shit.
assistance referee here, and from the people in the chat.
VAR. Well, the chat. Well, you have to VAR. The VAR could be the chat.
I think the buzzers don't work though. That's the problem in it because we're always going to contest that. Oh,
Yeah, no, the buzzers don't work. The buzzers do not work. Absolutely not. It just needs to be question for question. Really.
I mean, we're talking like international buzzing here through fucking Skype.
Yeah, it's slightly flawed, but no, great quiz though, Mark. It definitely brings some very entertaining segment. I have fun doing it, so.
I do enjoy it.
Even when it makes me look like a
gives us
tit.
break.
Good fun. I'm gonna shoot off and let Not Rudd.
The Rinconator, yeah, nice one. Well, thank you for that, Mark. And yeah, next week, whenever you're around, basically, please jump on and give us some questions. We love it.
A lot of research.
Definitely, honestly, honestly, Mark, you're doing a great job just coming on. Taking the pressure off myself, taking the pressure off the pig momentarily with a few, fun questions. Enjoying it a lot. Keep doing it, my friend.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And tonight, guys, at 7:45, watch along.
Absolutely, mate. Yes, watch along tonight.
Yeah.
Man City United, second leg, 3-1 down from the first leg. Definitely doing a watch along for that. So please do.
I'm plugging you.
I know, yeah, you're very organised there, Mark. You have to sort of prompt me, don't you? Otherwise, I just forget to mention these things.
All right, mate.
Mark, it won't be long until you're snuggling up next to the pig on that sofa, mate. I know that's the dream.
Yeah,
That's the dream.
He's not inviting me down because he thinks I got the virus. Well, being Asian and everything.
Oh, well, maybe,
looks I
maybe.
got.
I'll tell you what, mate. That sofa ain't all that, mate. I kind of escaped the UK because of it. Remember?
Yeah, you don't even trust me. You don't even want to come down here, Mark, mate. To be fair, like I put on this facade online, but really, you want to. You don't even want to know, mate.
It's a retirement home, I heard, isn't it? It's the retirement sort of town, isn't it? It's like.
Oh, what, Paul and Bournemouth in general? Yeah, well, you got a point there. That's very true.
much so. Yeah, it's a very elderly population in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the pig's the youngest there, isn't he?
That's right.
There we go. You don't want to be getting the coronavirus there, mate, or it'll just be you.
No, it's good time though if you're into gilfs. Like Wayne Rooney comes on holidays on down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got a house down there. He's got his own retirement home down there. But they ain't just retiring. I'll tell you that.
Legend. Well, thank you very much once again, Mark. Have a great week, mate, and we'll catch up with you for the what we calling it? What we calling it then? A question of sin.
That's got a nice ring to it.
I like that one. A question of sin. I think that's good.
The important thing, the most important thing is the sound of the theme. So you got the question of sport theme that comes on, but obviously it's a question of sin. But I think we should round it off with Sinter is coming. Because I love the Game of Thrones feeling. Let's not throw that away. Do you know what I mean? I think we'll talk about this. But Sinter is coming. It's going to work.
Sinter is coming. I don't know about that. Anyway, legend. Hey, thanks, Mark. Have a great week, mate. Great call. And thank you very much for calling in and being the quizmaster extraordinaire.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Legend. Have a good one, Mark. See you later. What a call, lads and lasses, eh? Mark Sin never fails to entertain with the questions there. I'm sickened. For the last 2 minutes, all I've been thinking about is how I didn't get Sheffield Wednesday the Owls. That's pissed me right
sensitive.
off.
Who cares?
It's pissed me right off.
Who cares?
Because I knew it. It's like one of those things you know, and then you just say the wrong thing.
That wasn't a call. That was a segment. That is a segment.
Yeah, that's
now
cool
we're on
right
to
there.
the calls, right? I mean, Rincon, you need to step your game up because we were going to have another segment where it was supposed to be like, Rinformation, Rinfo Wars, some shit or other. What's going on,
Unfortunately, he just had to go and get a little job, didn't he? Legend. So there we have it. If you are still around, Rincon, please do give us a call in now. Now is the time to shine. Now's the time to give us a call in. So please do that. Be great to hear from you, Rinks. And then we'll probably have to wrap this show up, to be fair, after that one call, because it's 2 hours, 18 minutes we've been going on the Pig and the Hen show, and time is
very nice.
on.
I mean, what I did like about what Mark said is the fact that, when it comes to this type of thing on YouTube, I guess it's difficult for people to, that are enjoying these shows to get on. And I think that's where we're trying to break the mold. We like to interact with you guys out there. Yes, we have the classic people, the people that super chat like Gunshi and Alex Rudd, etc. And some of these guys are obviously calling in, like Rincon, like Mark Sin, etc. So please keep doing that. I think the interactions are brilliant. And let's get on to our next call. If we got another call, let's do a couple more calls, Peg, if we can.
Absolutely. Well, Rincon's just phoning in now, so we have got him phoning in, which is great. So just bear with me one moment while I merge the calls here. What's going on here? Hold on, we're in some sort of a weird world where I'm calling Alex at the same time and he's calling me. So just give me one moment to figure this out.
Can't we just forget about Rincon and just move on to the next one? You know what I mean?
You are harsh.
He always just gives me some verbal diarrhea, doesn't he?
You are freaking harsh, my friend. Rincon, stop calling and answer the call I sent you, or stop calling so I can end the call that I sent to you, and then you can call again. All right, hang on. Actually, hang on.
I think he's on, and he's on video as well. Why do I have to see?
Can you see him? Why can I not see him?
Why do I have to see his face?
Can you see me?
I can't see you, Rincon. How you doing, mate? All right.
It's almost like he's taking over the channel when he's on. You know what I mean?
Can you guys see me?
I can't see you. No, I
can.
can't see you. But I think it's because I'm also trying to call you at the same time, and it's stuck on that. So I don't know what's going on.
Shit.
So it's just me. I can see Rincon, but no one else can. I mean, I don't like this. This is too personal. I'll tell you what he's doing now. He's doing some weird fucked up shit. Get rid of it.
Oh, crikey. How you doing then? How you doing then, Rincon? I don't even want to know. Well, I want to know how you're doing. I don't want to know what Henry's on about.
I'm doing good, guys. I've been busy as fuck with this new job, so I haven't really been able to tune in as much as I want to.
I know we've definitely missed having the Rinconator around. Saying that, you have been in there quite a bit recently, so thanks for the commitment.
Yeah, dude, no problem. I'm actually at the office right now. I'm in one of these like soundproof like rooms we have in our office. They call them Zen desks. So I decided to hop in here and give you guys a call.
That's awesome. You got a little Zen desk that's just good for your Zen. Is that right? This is America. This is America for you, Henry. We don't have stuff like that over there. Over there, they've got like little Google pods and stuff where you can just have a sleep halfway through during the day and stuff. It's freaking awesome.
That's funny. No, yeah. I mean, I've never had an office that had a Zen desk before, but yeah, they're basically just like these soundproof enclosures where you can like go and take a private call if you need to.
That's awesome.
So I just popped in here.
Oh, so bloody hell! So
You
can literally just stand there and say, "This company is shit. They're fucking awful. Why am I working here? Someone save me!" And then you could just walk out and pretend like nothing happened. And it'd be fine. Brilliant.
Great. So, how you guys doing? Are you excited for the game tonight? I actually don't give a shit about the game.
No, I'm sort of with you, Rincon. Like, I mean, I obviously I'm excited to play City, but I'm just not looking forward to it because I think we're just going to get beaten. It's just an unwanted game right now because we lost the first one 3-1. And I don't want to be humiliated again. I think the squad we've got is just not up to it. Maybe I'm being a bit negative, but that's just how I feel at the moment. I don't see United going up against teams like Guardiola City right now with the squad we've got and putting up a good display. That's just how I feel. I mean, maybe it's negative, but that's the truth of it. You know, I don't really give a shit about it, to be fair.
No, I don't really care either. I don't think we'll win. I mean, we have a chance, but with what? They got rid of away goals in the semifinal.
Yes,
right?
that's right. So we only need to win 2-0 or by 2 goals, and then we can take them to
bloody hell! Listen to you,
penalties.
melters. I'm changing my melter at the moment to both of you right now. What sort of fans are you? You only need to win 2-0 to get through it. It's like, I've already forgotten about it. It's beneath us. Fuck this League Cup bullshit. You sound like a couple of Cinderellas, literally. You know, without your bloody hell.
Well, you kind of right.
United fans feel this way.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure most United fans just don't give a shit about today.
Yeah, I mean, it's
at least that's
always a game
I
against
feel.
City. It's obviously you want to do well, but I think we've all just accepted the fact that we are quite a way off in terms of the squad and what we can do. Not to say we can't upset them. We saw Oli upset Guardiola in the league, and of course Jose a few days later and stuff. So we can win the big games. But like Oli said in his press conference, for United to win the game against City and progress to the final, we're going to have to play the perfect game. And unfortunately, we don't have perfect players at the moment, so I just don't see it happening. It could happen, of course it could. We could cause an upset, but just not that optimistic about it right now, Hen. That's fair enough, isn't it? We're realists, me and the Rincon.
If you had Jose in charge, do you think you'd have the same outlook, or are you just accepting the fact that Oli has
even
no
worse?
chance of
It'd be even worse
game?
if we had Jose in charge.
Yeah, if Jose was in charge, I'd feel the same way.
Really?
I feel even worse.
Really?
I feel like we're even more out of the
100%.
cup.
100%.
Mate, what's this Jose loving you've got,
worse
Hen?
because like Jose would be coming out saying negative shit and like berating our board, and it'd be toxic. No, I wouldn't.
No, I don't think you'd be in this position if you had Jose there. I don't think you'd be,
No, we wouldn't be in the League Cup
goals if
semi-final,
Jose
probably.
was
We'd probably
there.
been knocked out a while ago because of his defensive drabness.
No,
So-
I doubt that.
No, you obviously got Jose at the club. You wanted, but it wasn't that long ago you were criticising his work at United.
Mate,
So
no, but not in the same way you guys were. We've had this conversation before. Stop trying to push it on me as some kind of Jose hater turned into Jose lover, because I'm far from that. I turned into someone that was accepting the fact that it wasn't working at Manchester United. He's playing boring fucking football there, and he's come to Tottenham Hotspur, and he's not the Messiah. It's not all roses and tulips quite yet, but I'm willing to give it a chance. Of course I am. Simple as that.
I do think you guys will win something. What you win, I have no idea. It might be a Mickey Mouse Cup, a League Cup, an FA Cup. I do think you guys will challenge for the top 4 next year. I think if United make the right signings, we could challenge for top 4. But yeah, I mean, you'll win something, but the problem with Mourinho, in my opinion, is it always ends like a bad breakup. So, I mean, that's coming. It's inevitable. It's happened to every job he's ever taken in his career. So it's just a matter of time.
Is it still just me that can see Raycon's face? That's
yeah,
what
I still can't see it, mate. I have no idea why.
Can anyone else see his fucking face, or is it just me? That's what I want to know.
It's just you, mate. It is just you.
Is
I
it
can't
really?
see him, no.
Bloody hell.
I'm just going to come off camera if that's the case. I don't want to scare him anymore.
I need to make it rain in Guangzhou one more time. That's what I need to do.
Hey,
There, now you
I'll
can
be
look
back.
at a
I'll
picture
be
of
back
me and Mason
shortly.
Greenwood.
yeah,
There
Mason.
we go.
Yeah, can you see that, Henry? His picture with him and Mason
No, I
Greenwood.
can see that.
You met him on
it's
the
not-
pre-season
it could
tour,
be,
didn't you?
It could be Dick touching,
no,
but you
I
can't.
met
It's not.
him,
It's not in view.
No, I met him like almost 3 years ago now. He can't when the United sent the U19 team to the Dallas Cup,
Ah, right.
which is
right,
like an international like youth tournament
Mm.
where like clubs from all over the world come to participate. And one of our supporters group out of Dallas got a group together to go to the game. They played Chivas Guadalajara, and we were down 2-0, and Mason was subbed on. I had no idea at the time who he was, and he scored 2 goals and drew. And then after the game, this was during the time where everybody was like, Chong was like the hot new thing that everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
So after the game, everyone was like, Chong, come over here. Chong, come over here. And he just went straight back to the locker room. And the only person to come up to us to say hi was Mason Greenwood.
Oh, fair play
And
to him. So he's obviously
yeah,
a nice lad.
Yeah,
then,
he's a super, super nice kid. Really quiet, really humble. Said very few things. I asked him a few questions and he gave me one word answers.
He does seem a nice lad, to be fair. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I just think based on that kind of personality and my small interaction with him, it says a lot about his attitude and his work ethic. The fact that he kind of just came on and did his job and then had the
Absolutely. Yeah.
respect
You're making
to come and say hi
Tahith
to
Chong
fans.
seem like a bit of a dick, though, Alex.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually don't think Chai Chong is good enough.
No, I don't really. I mean, it's one of the good things to come out this season is Mason Greenwood stepping up and showing that he's such a great player, at 18 years of age and doing it for us. Whereas Chong, okay, he did look good pre-season, but since then, anytime I've seen him, he's been pretty bang average, and he hasn't really progressed this season like some of the other young players have. I mean, if you look at Williams and Mason Greenwood, who's burst on the scene, that is a great young talent you can get behind, that they slot in there and they perform and they look like real ones for the future. Chong, he's just gone off the boil, hasn't he? I'm not really too hopeful about him turning into the next Ruud Gullit or anything now. We'll see, but
Yeah, no, I agree. All of the observations I've watched of him making appearances for United, I haven't been impressed. He looks lost, honestly. He just, when I see him go out on the field and he's looking around like he doesn't know where to go, what runs to make, whether to come short or make a run in behind. I don't think he's at the level. And that could be because he hasn't had enough game time. Because I do believe, like, in order to produce youth talent, they have to have games and you have to be patient with them.
That's very true.
From what I've seen, I don't think he's up to standard. I don't think he's ready for this level.
No, I mean, maybe when you mention it, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really hasn't given that many opportunities to Chong or Gomez, especially. Like he has favoured. Who's he? Yeah, he's favoured Pereira a lot this season. Even Lingard ahead of those guys. I think it's a bit of a mistake from what I think we could have benefited from seeing a little bit more from Chong and Gomez. Okay, maybe you can argue when he has given them chances and put them in there, they've not really grabbed the ball by the horns and taken it. So maybe that's why he's not given them a consistent run in the side. But yeah, I'm with you. You need games if you're going to improve. He's not been having that many games, but when we have seen him, he's been pretty damn bang average, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But by contrast, I mean, Mason Greenwood, every time he's come in, he's banged on and he's taken his chances. I read a stat the other day on Twitter that said, I could completely mess this up, but it said something like, of the 8 times that Mason Greenwood has come on, he's been involved in 7 goals, whether that's a goal or an assist.
Yeah.
And that's very impressive for, how old is he? 18?
18, yeah, just
That's
turned 18 in
incredibly
October,
impressive.
I think, yeah.
I mean, the guy has more goals than João Felix. Like, at what point are we going to sit here and say, like, all right, this guy needs to be taken seriously as a youth talent?
Oh, big time, yeah. No, he absolutely does. Yeah, I mean, there's not that many breakthrough young players that I can remember in recent times that scored, as many goals as him in a sort of bit part campaign. Like, bear in mind, it's January still. He's not like been played every single game. It's not like Liverpool when they were playing Michael Owen like every single game. He's just coming on here and there, but the amount of goals that he's actually contributed to the team, ratio-wise, has got to be very, very high indeed. I'm just very happy we've got such a good young player. Seems a nice lad. He's going to be great for United for the coming years. He's great, obviously local. It's important to have those type of guys, and so I think he's one of the few positives of the actual season.
From what I've seen of him, he deserves a run in the side, especially with Rashford out.
Your video's frozen,
you look at players. Okay, it's probably because I'm running out of battery, so I could go any second.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I just wanted to say, I mean, with a player like Mason Greenwood with Rashford out, I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't be starting games right now. Especially when you're spouting those sort of stats there, Rincon. It's like, I know you've got other players there that, and not getting the opportunities or haven't been, but they haven't been working, and Greenwood has.
Yeah, no, totally. I 100% agree. I think when you get promoted into the first team at a club like United, a club that has a history of producing young talent that's world class, you have to take your chances. And the bottom line is that Gomez, Chong, they haven't taken their chances. Mason Greenwood has, and fair play to him.
Yeah, fully agree. And Brandon Williams too. He's basically dislodged Luke Shaw from the side already in a lot of ways. Like, I don't know about you, but a lot of United fans, certainly me, he's already way ahead the pecking order of Luke Shaw, because what he gives you, it's not just about the sort of technique of the guy. His range of passing is brilliant, by the way, for a left back, but also just the fact that he plays with passion. He plays with, you can see it in him, in his face, his desire to work hard for United, and that is half the battle for me. I'd rather a team full of players like that than some of these prima donnas that let the heads go.
No, totally, I agree. And you know what? The emergence of Brandon Williams basically dethroning Shaw from that starting left back position. To me, just shows how mismanaged post-Fergie Woodward has been with this team. Luke Shaw is the highest paid left back in the world. He makes more money than Marcelo at Real Madrid.
Are you shitting me?
Bloody hell, I didn't know that.
Luke Shaw's the highest paid left back in the world. That's actually a disgrace. He shouldn't even be in the top 10.
Yes.
Really?
Luke Shaw, if you believe reported figures, I think he makes over 150K a week, which is unbelievable. And this guy is the highest.
No wonder you can't sell him.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
It's the same situation with all our players. We've locked them in and priced them out of the market basically because of how much we pay them. Do you think somebody wants to come and pay Lingard 150K a week? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Alexis Sanchez. That's why you have Oldie making comments yesterday saying, "Oh, we're going to give him a second chance. We think he's going to do well." The reality is Inter probably told him, "Look, we're not signing this guy in the summer. He's shit. We're sending him back to you."
Yeah, exactly. It's not worth it.
And then
how's he been getting on at Inter, Alex?
He's not been doing very well. Conte dropped
he's not
him.
Doing
I think.
good
Yeah,
at all.
Conte
he's
dropped him.
Scored one goal, I think. He scored one goal and he's been injured the rest of the time. So the same as it was at United.
But that's not his fault, though. If he was injured, he was injured. I mean, in terms of, he hasn't just had, so basically he hasn't had a chance.
I'm pretty sure he had a run in the side, and I read an article a little while ago. Conte said Conte dropped him basically. So
yeah, he got dropped from the team and then he got injured.
Right.
Yeah, he's been just as good as Inter as he was at United. I don't know what happened to him, because I remember when we announced the signing of Alexis Sanchez, I was like, whoa, that is an amazing signing.
Yeah, one of the
and
world's
I thought
best
he would be really good. I thought he would be.
Yeah,
really
well, the
good.
whole world thought the same. To be fair.
Yeah, you can't really put your finger
honestly,
on what went wrong there, other than I guess maybe individually, he just I don't know. He got the money. He didn't want to fight.
Heavy for people. I don't think we should be handing out the number 7 jersey to anyone. I think that adds a lot of pressure, especially at a club like United, because you think of the players who've worn the number 7: George Best, Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham.
Cantona.
Like, these are Cantona, Eric Cantona.
Proper leaders.
These are like players that, are legends of our club and legends of the game, like some of the greatest players ever. And I just think that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, because our fans, when we hand out the 7 to somebody, they think, okay, they have to score every single week, or they have to assist every single week. And if they're not, then they're not producing. And that's a lot of pressure.
I think you're spot on there. I think we do put unnecessary pressure on these players coming in, especially the big money players. Even Martial, I'm giving him the number 9 this season. I can see where he do it, but that also just puts a little bit of extra pressure on. Hopefully he can step up and do it. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. It is a bit unnecessary.
The only player that deserves the number 7 shirt at Manchester United is Marcus Rashford. All day long, he is the shining example of a great player at your club.
Yeah, but he's not
including your goalkeeper. Okay, he's a great player. He's a great player, and he's surrounded by players that hit or miss. That is the problem. If you stuck Marcus Rashford in a Fergie side, he would be your next biggest player.
Yeah, but he's more of a traditional sort of number 11 for United. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously Giggsy's number. I wouldn't give Rashford the 7 personally, but I see what you're saying, though, Hen.
No, I wouldn't give Rashford the 7 either. But I'm of the belief that the 7 is just too much for some players. I think we need to calm down on handing that jersey number out before when we make signings. I think we just need to, honestly, in a dream world, which I know won't happen, I'd love to see Alexis sold in the summer, and then we don't give anybody the number 7.
Yes, that would make a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes, when he comes in, he's going to have like a random number, isn't he? I forget what it is now. Obviously, we don't truly know if he even is coming in, but
I have not. Well, the reports I've heard is it's happening today, and if that's true, then that makes sense because if we get destroyed by City today, they're going to probably announce it for damage limitation.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what they do. Yeah, I mean, I hope we get him, but yeah, I see what you said about the number. I mean, the ideal scenario, really, because nobody's going to come in and take him off our hands for the amount of money that he's on. I mean, Inter are paying a fraction of his wages, and they still don't want the guy. So, nobody's actually going to take him for 500k a week. I don't know how long's left on the Sanchez contract, but he can just stay here and run it out and collect his half a £1,000,000 a week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The ideal scenario would be he comes back and he actually turns into that old player, because if you looking at his Arsenal career and even at Barcelona and stuff, it's like he was a heck of a player, like you were saying, Alex. Nobody knew that he would be just quite as bad as he has been at United. You might have thought maybe he's doesn't reach the heights of the Arsenal days or whatever, but you still expect him to perform to a good level. But to have such a fall off from being one of the best players in the league to being completely invisible out there, I just don't understand. I really don't understand it. It's mad.
No, I agree. And to be fair, really, a lot of the players we've signed have kind of gone backwards in that sense. I mean, it's been 4 years since we've signed Paul Pogba? Is that right? 4 years? Yeah. And the jury's still out on him? Like, what's that about?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
He's never performed to a good enough standard.
You've got to look at the managers. You've got to look at the managers involved.
Dividing opinion.
I was sorry to interject here, but I was going to say you got to look at the managers here. So Alexis Sanchez comes to United where Jose Mourinho is, and okay, that may have been Jose's low point of his career, even though he won you trophies, but it just didn't work for Sanchez. So you're thinking, okay, well, it could have just been a blip for Sanchez, a blip for Mourinho, but he's gone to Inter Milan. You're saying he's been injured, but he was dropped by Conte, and bottom line, Conte's a winner. He come to Chelsea, he won the Premier League. He's at Inter. They're absolutely flying in, and signing players left, right, and centre. Obviously, Eriksen's just gone there. So, there is definitely a problem with Alexis Sanchez that you can't really put the blame on anyone else.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just not good at the moment, I just want my team back. That's all I really want. I want us to make competent signings and play free-flowing attacking football. Yeah. I miss the days growing up where I would wake up on the weekend and watch the game, and before halftime it was 4-0. Like, I miss those days.
I do too. I mean, the annoying thing is as well, it's like it could have gone so many different ways. It could have gone so many different ways though. Like if these players had actually worked out, like we have made some big signings over the years. That's the thing. Pogba 90 million, Lukaku 75 million, Sanchez the amount of money we're paying him. If these players on paper should have been good signings, that's the annoying thing. But whatever you want to say, whether it's the management, I don't think it's the management because
hate to interject.
Yeah, sure.
Hate to interject. But I have to run.
No worries, Alex. Well, thank you very much for stopping by on your working day. Are you around for the watch along later, my friend, or are you working still?
I'll be monitoring the chat, but yeah, I'll be around.
Bloody legend. Okay, well, great call. Thanks,
right,
Alex. And we'll try and sort something out soon where we do a call in or get you back on for a proper show as well, mate. Nice one.
Oh, 100%. Hint, stay safe. I was worried about you the other day with the virus shit. Wash your hands. If you're sick, stay home. All that bullshit. See you guys.
Top man. See you later, Alex.
I know you cared about me, Alex, before the pig did. I don't even think you would have contacted.
That's the only reason I contacted.
That's because I'm a worrywart.
I was just the messenger. Otherwise, I wouldn't have contacted. No, I'm joking. Obviously, we care about the head, mate. But...
All right, I'm out.
Nemesis,
top man. Have a great one, Alex.
Someone
Cheers,
can't
mate.
survive without their nemesis. That's what it is. I'll see you later, Alex. Yeah, he's gone.
See you, mate.
He's gone. I was just trying to say that you gain strength from your arch enemy. You know what I mean? Once your arch enemy's gone, you have no reason in life. That's what it's about. That's why Alex needed to make sure that I was here.
Absolutely.
So he has his poll.
Hey, Henry, we're pretty much going to have to wrap this one up now because we are approaching almost 3 hours here. But it's been a great show. Really great call there from Rincon. Love talking United with that guy, and also, Mark Sin with the questions. Gungshi's just commented at the end saying Rincon getting kicked out of the Zen room. Maybe his boss has just got onto him. Do you know what I mean? You've been in the Zen room too long now, Rincon.
Yeah, what are you doing in there, you absolute weirdo?
By the way, your video's still frozen, Henry. So we're going to wrap this show up. Anything you want to say at the end here, Hotspur?
I'm just glad that you've still got my audio. I mean, just listen back to the show. I think it's been a good show. A lot of interesting points made.
Yes.
And stay safe. I don't even know, Gunshi, I don't even know what you're doing, why you're leaving.
He's on holiday in Kyoto,
Taiwan.
Japan, mate. He's on holiday, so he's just having
he's in
vacation
Japan, and then he's going back to Taiwan.
I assume so, yeah. I mean, it's not the best time to travel, but stay safe, Gungshi, obviously, mate, and use those masks and all that, because, yeah, it's, travelling around that part of the world at the moment, it does have to hold its risks, doesn't it?
Yeah, he should be fine. He should be fine.
To be fair, it won't really affect Gungshi, because he can just fly in his private jet, do you know what I mean?
Exactly that.
Legends. Right, I'm just going to do a bunch of shout outs at the end here. Mark Sin, of course, thank you for the questions. The Sinner Man, Yassar Wahid, Devil of a Red, JP, the Music Fiend, the Saint, G Wolf United, Stefan Harringtonio, Mark Sin again, Gungshi, G Wolf, I keep repeating myself here, Stjerna Kilda, Salwa Sabrina, Matt Lewis, and everybody else, the Saint. I think I've said it before. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for tuning in.
You've said the Saint
about 6 times, I know.
What we need next call-in show is honestly, let's ban Rincon, right? For a start, let's get some fresh blood in.
Shout out to the cop. Shout out to DJ Fergus 1. How you doing, my friend? Shout out to Jay Alex. Everybody else, thanks very much for stopping by on the live show. This podcast we do every single Wednesday. For anybody that's new, please subscribe. Also, smash a cheeky little like on this video, help the Pig of the Hen out. But every single Wednesday, around about 1 p.m. UK time, we do the Pig of the Hen show live on YouTube. So please stop by, get involved whenever you're free on a Wednesday live. But also, you can listen to it, obviously, post-show on YouTube. But also, I do upload it to both Patreon and also SoundCloud, where you can listen to it on any sort of podcast app or iTunes and all that good stuff. So please go and support the channel over on the audio format as well. And just want to say, the Bacon and Egg Brigade, you're a bunch of bloody legends. Thank you so much for getting in here all the time. And it was a very good show today. Loving the live chat popping off throughout. Lots of viewers, lots of great topics being discussed, lots of debate, and of course a couple of great calls as well. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning into the Pig and the Hen show. You are truly very awesome. Right. Bottled it at the end. After that great good speech there, just bottled it.
With that in the same way that you struggled with Mark Sin's quiz questions.
That's right. I can't believe I didn't get that Owls one, mate. That is shocking. Right, we'll leave it there then, but thank you for tuning in. Henry, step your game up with the video here. It's frozen, but at the same time, this is...
Do you know why I think it's frozen?
Why? Go on.
I think it's because I turned on like a battery saving mode where you basically, if you got an iPhone out there, fuck you Android fans, if you got an Apple iPhone, as you know, I've got a 6S 5-year-old technology. I know if you go on settings, you go on battery power and you turn it onto low power mode, and suddenly your little battery icon on the top right corner goes yellow. I mean, I did that when I was down to about 10% about 15 minutes ago. And since then, you Pig have been complaining about not being able to see my face. Is that what's done it? Is that
It's
what it
possibly
is?
what's done it. I mean, some may argue it's an improvement, but that's what's probably happened. In all honesty, though, Hen, like this is in terms of quality, the lighting. We can actually see you a little bit today on the show. There's no wind noise. Like I'd be up for you to do it in your quarantine closet all the time, mate, because I think it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, but you need there to continue to be a virus out here. Otherwise, the missus will have me back out on the streets. Mark my words.
Awesome. Right, let's wrap this show up then. Alex Rudd, great to see you here too, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Right, we'll wrap it up. So thanks for joining us for the Pig and the Hen show today. I've been the Pig.
I've been the Hen.
And you've been watching the Pig and the Hen. We'll see you next week.
Pig and the Hen. Pig and the Pig and the Hen. Pig and the Hen show. 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 Pig and the Hen show.
So there we have it, lads and lasses. That was the Pig and the Hen show this week. Almost a 3-hour epic. Getting on some good time there. Great quiz from Mark Sin. Great call there from Alex Rincon as well. Great to hear from you. We'll try and take a few more calls next week, but thank you for joining in. This is the Patreon section where it's just a little end rolling credits to thank all the patrons. I have finally added the Saint and Steve Johnson. You'll be very happy to know. Shout out to Rudd, Rincon, Ikalul, Matt Norton, Lucinda Green, Robbo, of course, Liam White, Gungshi, of course, Jarvis Cocker, Pete Miller, Wallace Montcroy Stewart, Marshall Growler, The Saint, and Steve Johnson. Thank you so much for getting in there and supporting the channel on Patreon. Link in the description. But once again, thanks for tuning into the show. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next week. Stay classy. Oh, and the watch-alongs later as well. Come on, United.